I know you guys just saw it. I don't know if I can show you it, but I just finished watching Orange Man's entrance into the Republican National Convention, and for the first time, I'll say in a while, I felt bad for a human being. And I'll say it like this. When I saw Orange Man enter in, people I think what people don't understand is Orange Man, he's a personality first. You know what I mean? We don't know how these people are behind closed doors, but for him to come back into the public light after getting an attempt on his life was very brave of him. And I could see it in his eyes that he's been through it for the past 2 or 3 days because he literally had an attempt on his life. In the way that CNN try to kind of downplay it, or like people in the left trying to downplay it, it's very disingenuous because I really saw it. Like I saw it in his eyes where he's just like, wow, like I'm really back out here. This could happen to me again. And if it was me, I'd stay home. I'd be like, F that. Y'all can have this country. I'll be like, if that was me, I'd be like, y'all can have it. This is not worth it. This is definitely not worth it. But let me share, because this specific episode, we are going to cover I want to we're gonna take this whole episode, we're going to cover a whole hour episode from another channel. This is going to be a reaction video. Let me first share the screen. Man, what's up? Pyro, man, what's up, bro? But yeah, I just finished just watching I just watched Orange Man's entrance into the RNC. So, wow. That was definitely a different type of atmosphere. I can tell that Orange Man he looked humbled. Like, to be honest with you, like I've never seen him like that. Orange Man looked humbled by the reaction of the crowd and just him being out there. He looked humbled, like for real. He had like a legit hero's how do you say, a hero's welcome? You know what I mean? And I could hear the singer was getting emotional. He was trying to sing. Hold up. Let me reset these wires first before this show starts. So does Okay, here we go. Here we go. Testing. Hopefully I don't have my stuff too loud. I think that might be the problem. My hopefully my equipment isn't too loud. But anyways, let me share the episode that we're about to get into. Let's share this. Let's share the screen. Okay. Right here. Is this thing really gonna bother me this whole time? Yep, it is. It definitely is. It's definitely gonna bother me. So here we have this episode. This is Florida Boy Jay's channel. He's gonna have an interesting character on, right? And first of all, let's play the intro. Let's play the intro. Right.
Welcome back. This is a very special exclusive episode.
So right here, Florida Boy Jay. This is a guy that makes frequent appearances on the Star Report. Now, Aaron, I don't know where this man is. I don't know where he is in life. I don't know if he's unemployed. I don't know if he's employed. All I can say is when he would make his phone calls into the Star Report, he would stir up some ish. You know what I mean? And his perspective in life intrigued me. The reason why he intrigued me a lot is because I can tell Star was intrigued by him. And the reason why Star was intrigued by him, and he kind of gave it away, but I suspected this. I think Star looks at Aaron here, this guy right here. First of all, he's a half breed. No disrespect. But hold on, let me turn down my volume. So yeah, no disrespect to that guy, but I think the reason why Star was intrigued by him is because he reminds him of him before, Star got situated in life. So I think that's why Star was actually intrigued by this man. So and that's why he would always frequently have him on. That's my opinion on Aaron. And Aaron would say a lot. He says a lot of reckless stuff, like reckless stuff. To be quite honest with you, it is what it is. So we're gonna be paying attention to a lot of what he's saying because he is an open, Republican. Like I said, there's not a whole lot of black dudes that come out and just say he's Republican, but like, in his case, it might be different because he is mixed. You know what I'm saying? So he might get, so you can tell he gets the treatment just in general. But we're gonna pay attention to a lot of the stuff that he says. Also, let me add you guys. Let me add you guys in. Let me add you guys. Let me put the invite thing. Let me put the invite in there. Let me put the invite. Let me do a copy. We do a paste, and we're gonna get you guys in there to react as well. Because I did say this was gonna be an open panel. Let me see. How do I put this? Join here. Join. Okay, join stream here. There we go. We're gonna hit enter. I'm gonna put the link in the live chat. I'm gonna pin it. Like I said, I just came back from watching Orange Man enter into the RNC. Yeah, so they gonna make that a highlight clip, and the people on the CNN panel they were tight. Like they were tight. That's why I watched it on. That's why I was watching the RNC on CNN because I knew they were gonna be tight about that. They couldn't hide their hate. They couldn't hide their hate. Anyways, that's the stuff I live for, though. The stuff I'd be living for. Just the reaction of the normies. Let me open it up real quick. I'm going to pin. Got too much shit going on here. Let me pin this. Let me pin the message. Right. Like I said, the titles in the stream is called the episode was actually called All Black Republicans Matter because what many conservatives don't understand, many black people, particularly black men, cannot afford. I'll say black people in general, not just like black people in general really can't afford to come out as an open Republican. It's really hard. Like, so people don't understand, like, especially when we're speaking from a black male perspective, right? Speaking as a black male, if you are a black man and you are a open Republican, you're not going to get a black girl. Most likely, I'm talking about 95% chance you're not going to be able to date a black girl. I'm talking about if she knows who you are, you're going to have to hide it. Meaning you can't just be an open black Republican, a black dude that is a Republican. You're not going to get no girls in terms of black girls. You're not going to get any black girls. Now, the irony is if you are a white Republican man, you could still get a black girl. But if you are a black Republican man, it's going to be harder for you than a white Republican. It's weird. It's weird that it works like that, but that's just how it is. Now, and on top of that, just being just a black Republican in general, you're going to be outcasted for the most part. Now, let's play this thing here. Remember, this is Aaron to the left. Florida Boy J is the host on the right, but he's the special guest here, Aaron.
Of Perspectives and Facts podcast, episode 31. It's your boy Florida Boy J. We are here recording live from Orlando, Florida, and I have the homie here, Aaron, has came in to Florida for CPAC for a few other things, and we're happy to find him and get him on
Fair use, by the way, fair use.
the schedule.
And some decent restaurants.
Absolutely, absolutely. So how you been, man? How's Florida treating you? How's your vacation?
So far, it's been all right. I went to the strip club last night. That was a little bit of a disaster. But the funny thing is, I went into a gas station afterwards, saw probably one of the best looking women I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And she worked at another strip club. She was gorgeous. She worked at another strip club. She was really nice looking. Right. And I went to a steakhouse last night, went to Shula's.
By the way, I have it sped up. I have the audio sped up because we got to speed through this. I don't want to really take an hour and something. I don't want to take that long. You know what I mean? Because when you're covering like 1 hour episodes and stuff, that can easily turn into a 3-hour review. I'm not trying to have all that.
I mean, just big name. It was a disaster. So we got to hit we're definitely I'm going to get seafood tonight. Wherever you want. You But Boathouse after this. And CPAC, I think this might be one of my last years coming. I think it's on the way down. Like its influence is down. I mean, Trump is speaking right now. The venue was so small, I couldn't like get.
Oh yeah. By the way, this was recorded. What year was this recorded? I think this was recorded in 2022. If I'm not mistaken, 2022. It says 2 years ago. Yep. This was recorded in May 2022. Just to let you know, guys, this was recorded in May 2022.
Through the venue's a disaster. I had to worry about parking.
So later on, they're going to speak on immigration and stuff. So this was even before it was out of control. So they're going to speak on, basically prophetically speak on everything that we're going through right now.
The venue last year was much better. So hopefully Trump says some GOAT level stuff and we'll just see from there.
All right, man. And I guess so far you got some good things, some bad things about Florida.
Oh, I like Florida though.
Yeah. But like you said, it's still closed. Sometimes.
No, I'm going to go to that other one tonight. I'm going to go to see the other one tonight. I've been in Florida twice within a week. I did the Miami trip, and I prefer Northern Florida, though. I think Duval is probably the best, in my honest opinion. And the Panhandle's decent, too. Orlando's changed. I came here last year, and it's changed. It's a lot more international, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean by that. They're flooding in people from the third world, so.
Definitely. One thing about especially Florida, mostly like the Panhandle, North Florida,
just to let you know, Aaron uses very frank and strong language, and he's very matter of fact. So just to let you know, he's just warming up here. He's just warming up.
You kind of consider that like South Georgia because we're kind of more of like backwoods, you know what I'm saying? We're kind of like, I would say more like country, but the further you go down south, the more like international it gets, the more cultural it gets. You'll go down to Miami and me and you won't even be considered like Black Americans. Like they'll just think we're some type of Hispanic background because that's pretty much anybody of melanin,
Hold on. I see a comment by Rocky, my guy. He says Amber Rose was at the RNC. Yes. And she said, LOL, the B-dubs is mad as F right now, probably cooking up some schemes to shame BMs into voting blue. Like I said, I dropped a video. I don't think I dropped it yet. Maybe I did, but it was basically me. I had to basically put the BWs on blast because there's a lot of stuff that they complain about, but they vote blue. So meaning they complain about the transformers, right? But they vote blue. They complain about the immigrants. A lot, particularly a lot of FBAs complaining about immigrants, but you're voting blue. It's like you say you hate the problem, but you blindly vote blue. This makes no sense, guys. This is why I gotta call y'all out. You can't be like I said, you can't be talking about all I done seen. Unfortunately, I'm not trying to put Black people or the FBAs on blast. It's just I done seen way too many Black people going into these council city halls. Like, why are these immigrants here? And they're preaching the fire and brimstone about the immigrants taking our stuff. And you're just like, but you voted for this. This is why these people are looking at you blankly as they sit at their high chairs at the in the city councils and the mayors, and they're just looking at you blankly because you voted for it. Most of you guys voted for it. Most of you guys voted for Sleepy Joe. Most Black people just blindly vote Democrat. Anybody that's a Republican, according to y'all, is a sellout and an Uncle Tom. But then you're complaining about immigration and transformers and drag queens reading to your kids, but you vote blue. I have no sympathy for you. Okay, So we're gonna add Pyro in here. What's up, bro?
I'm good, bro. Yeah, I think you're completely right because most women just vote blue, and I think they will know what's going on when they vote blue because all of this transformer BS, this immigration BS, and immigrants are taking their word and they're complaining like, I don't want to hear it. You voted blue.
And what's crazy is like because they'll say they'll and I'm not saying they don't have a right to complain, but it's like it's almost like remember when we talk about the quote unquote grape culture, right? That women talk about, but yet you continue to party at the places where most of the grapes allegedly take place. You say you don't want to be you say that men are predators, yet these same girls had fake IDs when they were younger. It's really hard for me where you're not like I said, I grew up around women, right? That they didn't really like men, really like that. So, but their actions were congruent, meaning, okay, they didn't really like dudes like that. They only were like certain dudes, but they would like be like, man, there's no way I'd ever be a stripper. They're like, I'm talking about, I knew women that they would work like 3 or 4 jobs before they would do Section 8. They would work 3, like they had way too much pride for it. They're like, no, I will just take my L. To me, that makes sense. Or they'll just be like, I won't go to the club. They'll be like, no, I don't even want to be around these people. But like it makes sense. But unfortunately, what we have are people or women now that they say they hate men, but then they decide to become strippers. They say they hate men, but then they decide to have an OnlyFans account. They say they hate men, and you're just like, and then they decide to do certain professions where they're always putting themselves in position to where men can objectify them. And you're just like, this just doesn't make any sense. So that's kind of how I see when it's like, particularly FBAs complaining about, especially when FBAs are complaining about immigrants, if they're complaining about guns or gun laws and all this stuff. But I'm like, so anytime if an FBA or just black people in general are complaining about a certain law being passed, you have to ask them, okay, who did you vote for? Before you even say anything else, who did you vote for? And that's literally the answer to your problem. Let me add Pyro again. So like a lot of the times the answer to your problem is already there. Is the people that you vote for.
True.
With melanin inside of them, they're pretty much not Black Americans, Americans pretty much imported. So, but I will say this, we do have one of the, if not the freest state in the country.
Agree.
We do have one of the lenient taxes or tax systems in the country. Like people from Florida, I know just regular us, like in your mid-20s, I would kind of compare it to Texas in a way. Like in your mid-20s, like you can have a nice crib, nice car, cool little job, and kind of build up from there. Where I've been to California, I've been to
not Miami though.
No. Miami's different. Miami's kind of
California.
Yeah,
but I mean the laws are still there, but everything is just unaffordable. I don't like that. I don't. That's not a. It's funny because you're importing people from those countries. I don't like that. I don't like the fact that somebody that works 50 hours, 60 hours a week can't live a normal life. And the funny thing is, we import these people from all these other countries, and that they work hard, and then they don't have enough money to really survive or live their life, and they bring that.
See, when he complains about it, this makes sense. You know why? Mm-hmm. This is an open Republican. He got the Make America Great Again. Y'all can call him Uncle Tom or what you want, but his actions are congruent to to what it is. So now, this was recorded in 2022, right? And I remember Aaron would say the same thing when he would go on a Star Report. And, there was a lot of black people that was calling him a sellout, Uncle Tom, and all this stuff. But now the same black people are complaining about the same thing that he was complaining about 2 years ago. But who are you going to vote for? What people in legislation, what people in your local elections, what kind of people are you going to vote for? Are you just going to keep blindly voting Democrat? Because if you're going to do that, then you're just wasting your time. This is why I can respect a guy like this, because what he's complaining about and what he wants is congruent. So, but unfortunately, guys like this, they get the bad end of the stick from the public because they're anomalies. They're black Republicans, or openly black conservative people, and guys like that usually get the bad end of the stick.
Yeah.
Let me see. I saw, Truth Hunter. What's up, bro? They always call them Uncle Toms, but never a liar. Oh my God. I wish I had a soundbite for that. Yo, that's why I'd be, man, that thank you. Thank you. They will call you everything under the book but a liar.
Because they know it's completely true.
So that's what we always talk about. Just, if you hear, usually when you start hearing shaming language, that means you're right. That means it's almost, I remember Bill Burr was saying, like, if you're arguing with a girl or you're arguing with your girl, and as soon as she start hurling the insults and bringing stuff from the past, he just said, just take a knee. Just like in football, instead of just throwing it, just take the knee. You already won. Just you already won. Just take the knee and just let the clock run out. That's how you know you're already right. Once the shaming language comes, once they start calling you this, they start bringing up stuff that you did in the past. That's how you know that you won.
In that bullshit here with them. Right. And so you look at the cities that they're going to. You work 70 hours a week in California, you're still on the bottom. You work 80 hours a week in Miami, you're still on the bottom. It's like they're bringing it's. Some people say that these people are escaping, like they're fleeing poverty and war-torn conditions. Are they escaping it, or are they bringing it with them? Because the people make the country.
Right.
So like Miami, disaster. I don't like, and then there's like the economy. What is their economy there?
Oh man, the economy in Miami is, I would say, it's kind of like, it reminds me of Los Angeles, where it's like a predatory economy, where it's oppressive opportunities. Like when I say that, you literally have to cannibalize.
In big cities like Miami, Atlanta, right, New York City, Los Angeles, right,
California,
even big cities in other states like Minneapolis, Minnesota, right, even like places where those big cities, the only way to get to the top is by doing some gangster stuff or just straight up stepping on the heads of your fellow man. You can't, you got to do some real dastardly things to really get to the top in big cities like that.
It's capitalism. It's cannibalistic capitalism. Yep. If you are rich, it's because you're eating the poor. And if you're poor, it's because you're getting eaten by the rich. There's no really middle class, because whatever middle class has been evaporated like every other big city. The middle class is really a 50-year window where, you can be a high school dropout and get a good job and buy a house for $92,000 and pay $600 a month in 1992 with your wife and have 2 cars and raise a kid. Now you and your girl got to finance something for $300K, $400K. Like when our parents is coming up, you can get a house for around $89,000. Like you get a house for what an expensive car is worth right now. And you were getting that mortgaged with a partner.
But also, I agree. But think about it. Think about those days, right?
Right.
Were we, did the United States look like the United Nations? It was more 2 groups of people here. It was a biracial country, as it should stay.
Right.
That affects everything. But once again, these people bring this mentality with them. Nobody puts the American worker first. So for me, that's what makes America what it is. I don't care about rich. I don't care about poor. And I like capitalism. It's cool.
And shout out to Aaron for really pointing the finger at who we should really be pointing the finger at. Sometimes it's not necessarily the immigrants that he's pointing the finger at. Is how is it the American worker is not being prioritized? Right. So this is where a lot of Republicans miss the mark. And that, at least Aaron hits on that point, which is why I respect him more than most other Republicans, is they'll just point the finger at just the immigrants.
Yeah.
Right. Or they'll just point the finger at blacks just in general, or just whatever. But I'm like, you do know these people overseas that are coming in, sneaking in, they're getting hired. They're being prioritized by who? Who's like I said, like when the immigrants are it's because they're letting them come through. They're letting them come through. There's no border crisis. They could fix that. Trust me, they could fix that. They're letting them come through because they know they can use these people for cheaper labor, and they know they can use that as leverage over the average American worker. And this is when we talk about these cannibalistic CEOs, presidents, people up top that are allowing this stuff to happen. That a lot of Republicans, they don't call that out, but it's easy to just point the finger at just the immigrants when really the immigrants, a lot of those immigrants are just pawns, dangerous pawns at that, but pawns still in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah,
I'm not
like,
loyal. If
Oh, my bad. Say it again.
Yeah, like they're technically like just very useful foot soldiers at best.
Yes. It's just, very is always a strategic pawn in their grand plans, which is unfortunately gonna affect us. Whoever's living in America, whoever the middle class in America is, this is what who or the poor Americans. This is who it really affects at the end of the day. What's up, iSpider? He said, "Hey y'all, how you doing?" Well, yeah. Well, like I said, I just saw Orange Man come through at the RNC, and to be honest with you, he wasn't boastful. He wasn't like he really looked humbled. I'm not even gonna he looked humbled, and I'm not saying that to bring him down. I'm just saying like people got to understand like he just had an attempt on his life. You know what I mean? And people are just always looking at Trump as this grandiose, boasting person. But at the end of the day, that's just the personality of him. I'm pretty sure he's going through it like internally, all these. I'm wondering, and Pyro, I'm wondering where are all the mental health experts coming there to, addressing this side of the game. But because it's Orange Man, we don't care about Orange Man's mental health. There were more people that were mad at Orange Man for pumping his fist after being shot at and missed. They were more mad at that than the actual attempt on his life. It's
I know this. I've seen it on Twitter. Like Twitter is a cesspool.
You're just like you're looking at these people. You're just like, wow. Even if you don't mess with the man, like me, I don't even mess with politicians at all. But I'm like, so you guys are more. You guys are gonna focus on that more than he literally just almost. He could have lost his, or if not lost his life, he could have been a vegetable. You know what I mean? Could have been popped in front of everybody for the whole world to see. People don't understand. How does that affect his sons? How does that affect his young son? Right? What's his name? The young kid. I forgot what his name is. Imagine how he's looking at this. They just almost try to kill his father in front of everybody. How does this affect his worldview? But you don't hear none of the mental health or the therapists. You never hear them address that part. I didn't see no therapist on Twitter that day going like, man, I wonder what Trump's mental health is. Nope. I didn't see none of them. I didn't see none of these frauds. Anyways, I'm gonna just keep it playing right now before I get mad.
Capitalism isn't providing a comfortable life for the average person, well, the average male. Let me say that, because even in the worst, somebody's busting it open on the pole in Ukraine tonight, and they're still going to make some money. So if you're not putting the average male first, if the average male is not living a good life in your country, then you're a disaster.
Do you feel like America?
Facts.
Yeah.
And this is where I've actually gotten my theory from. This is where I've actually, because I've repeated this, but I've repeated that from him. Because ever since I saw that episode 2 years ago, I've been very diligent in repeating that point. If your country is not prioritizing the average male, it's not finna last. It's not finna last, because now the average male feels like he can't even, first of all, forget just getting ahead. He doesn't even feel like he can get a family. First of all, there are men that are making good money here, like men that I know, and they're just like, I don't think I have enough for a family. You're like, what? But like I said, because most of the women have just become open prostitutes, where they're just like,
Yeah.
oh, if you don't make this, then you can't get. And this is what happens when you're not prioritizing the average male. If you're prioritizing the average broad, she's not going to use that money for a family. She's not going to use that money to create a viable company where
Nope.
she's also putting money into the hands of other people where they have their families and they can take. So when a man gets money, he starts a company, he starts a business, he ends up spreading that money inadvertently, feeding more people really than the average broad. They get the money, they just use it for themselves.
For
You know what I
themselves.
mean?
Like, like if most brothers could give away their children for money, they would. Like, let's be honest.
Especially if you take away child support, you take away all the government, stuff.
Yeah.
They especially like especially today, if they just say, "Oh, we're not going to use it." Do you know how many fathers are going to have custody of their kids, or just other
Yeah.
people? There's going to be literally a whole gap of mothers that be like, "Didn't you used to have a kid? What happened? Oh, it didn't work out." That's just literally what they're going to say. It didn't work out.
Yeah.
But really, it's just they couldn't make no money off that.
Yeah.
Let me see.
So like in their mind that kid is a liability.
Exactly. So I see Rocky. He said a couple things. Oh yeah. Oh, hold on. Truth Under said the Secret Service took 2 minutes to respond as well after they were told about the shooter. Yeah, that was weird. Like that. This is what happens when you're not hiring the right people for the job. First of all, Trump is around 6'2", 6'3". You can't have the average broads like just defending a man like that. It's just that it just looked like they just looked very ill prepared. They just look very ill prepared. You see, even Chinese historians said the same thing. Oh yeah, about you can't you must build your country where the average man feels where he feels like he can have a family, first of all, and he feels like he can live, meaning he can work a job and still make enough where he doesn't feel like he doesn't have to go into poverty just to make enough.
Mm-hmm.
Where now the average man doesn't even think he can have a family. That's disastrous. People don't understand how disastrous that is, but that's where we are. I'm talking about it's dudes with good money. They're just like, I don't think I can have a family, because in their mind they're just like, oh, I can't afford a family. What that's dangerous, dog. That's where these are the people that are going to birth the next engineers. These are the people that are going to father the next doctors. So who's going to be the electricians? Who's going to be the plumbers? Who's going to be the firefighters? The policemen? Who?
Yeah, like we all know the immigrants' children that is coming up.
Yeah, it's probably going to be them. So this is where it gets dangerous. This is where it gets dangerous. Especially when we talked about yesterday, where you got American men, they're only having trust in. They're importing their wives, right? The ones that still want to live in America, what they do is they're importing their wives. But the problem is now, even like when it comes to sports, their kids are opting to represent the country of their mother, and their fathers are completely behind it. Now, it's not just going to stop at sports. It's going to spread to when it gets to some serious stuff. When ish hits the fans, they're going to be like, okay, we're just going to go to your mom's country. Like war and anything, representation, military. They're just like, nah, I resonate more with my mother's country. And the father is going to encourage it because he has no faith in American women. So let me.
Yeah, that's true.
Truth Hunter says open prostitutes, they look at marriage as a business retirement play. Exactly. And most men are starting to see it that most women really don't really rock with them like that. And they really are just like, it's an open secret now where just like, they're just looking at men as retirement plans when their whole girl boss thing doesn't work out. You see,
because because the way like women look at man is just a contract. It's just a contract that you can make money off of, like, and if the guy breaks the contract, she can still at least get a huge cut.
Oh yeah, and also a lot of Gen Z girls, they're using these sugar sites, right? They're like, if you go on the average college campus, it's like a very bad kept secret that I would say almost half of the girls on campus, they're on Seeking. They're on these sites where they're looking for monthly allowances, where they're putting their wish lists, their Amazon wish list on there, and they're getting tricked on. So there's gonna be a lot of I'll say, like, I'm gonna say 10 to 15 years in the future, there's gonna be a lot of dudes that you Seeking that are going to get sued by Gen Z women once they turn 40 years old, 30 years old.
Yeah, possibly.
Because they're gonna be saying, "Oh, I was forced to use it because I needed their money." That's, because a lot you're gonna see in the future. You're gonna be like, "Damn, all these women were on Seeking." Yes, all these women were using these sugar sites. Yes, it's a lot of young women that they're not even using, like, they're using the regular dating sites just for attention purposes, but they're using sugar sites. They are prostituting themselves. They're looking specifically looking for older men so they can get, their quote unquote their monthly allowance, like Rocky says. So that's another underrated aspect that's happening right now that a lot of men don't want to really talk about.
Does not subscribe to traditional patriarchy, as far as, like you said, the male is in the nuclear family aspect. The male is the head of the household. The male is the tone setter. The man with a job that he can provide and enough self-esteem backed by his government or the environment around him can bring a family into fruition, can actually have a stable home in an environment. But do you feel like America kind of does not subscribe to patriarchy, thus gives any and everybody that job or that opportunity where you should, I won't say just directly exclusively give it to males, but there should be an interest that males or leaders of households do make a certain amount of money to live and have a standard of living that upholds the American way?
Yes. And what's funny is, even if we look at your example of the 90s, right? We think about people having a finance. We think about the car. You said the car, the house. People have the finance. You can work a decent job, drop out of high school.
Or how grandma worked at the diner and paid off her college tuition at the same time.
But think about it, right?
Right.
Outside of the diner, all these other companies don't want to put men first. They don't care about the needs of men. They don't care about what's happening with men. They don't care if men are leaders. And frankly, they don't want men to be leaders. They don't want to teach leadership to men, to boys, right? They would rather fit a square peg in a round hole and make something that's not designed to be a leader. You would rather force that to be a leader instead of focusing on something that's already predisposed with leadership qualities and capabilities.
That's been proven time and time again over centuries and thousands of years.
You see what I'm saying? You see everything that he's saying right here. Look,
it's true.
This was in March 2022 he did this. I started my channel around February 2022. This interview right here was very influential to my channel. I'm telling you this right now. This interview was very influential to especially a lot of my talking points. And it really woke me up because I like, first of all, I like people that use very frank language. They don't beat around the bush, because I just don't have that kind of time, for for the nonsense. So he makes it very clear to what's really the problem. Unfortunately, especially when where people complaining about DEI and all this nonsense. We see the effects of DEI the other day with Orange Man and his security personnel. What he said is perfect. He said they just would rather fit a square peg in a round hole instead of just going with what works. So now you have these companies that are being incentivized to just push certain things, whether it be through race, whether it be through gender, and they're just pushing these things instead of just using what works. And unfortunately, you have a lot of people's in positions of power or authority that have no business being in these positions, and we all see it at work. We'll even at these dusty jobs like at a Wendy's or Popeyes or Domino's, you always see the manager is the one with the fat ass, and instead of the person that really knows how to do things. You know what I mean? Or it's
Yeah.
if it is a dude, who ends up being a GM, it's always somebody that's like, um, the guy has to be so appealing to women, meaning he's either such a pushover to women or he's aesthetically pleasing to the woman, meaning he's over 6 feet tall, so they all look up to him
Yeah.
instead of putting the right person that can actually do the job. So this is the problems that we have where we have people pushing their own agendas. You know what I mean? DEI and all this nonsense. So this is a collateral, catastrophic domino effect, which is going to affect us in the near future, especially once the year 2030 hits.
Would you say that what's going on in America right now is a more sophisticated, mature version of Section 8 on a wide scale?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Everybody wants it. Everybody, like every company has initiatives to put men on the bottom and to put women or whoever above men. Every company has that. Every company has an HR department that wants to, that doesn't care about what happens to men. I mean, it's all about women in tech and women and all this stuff. And it's just like, what about all the men that are committing suicide? What about all the men that are homeless? What about all the men that are unemployed?
Because I'm gonna tell you the truth. One of the biggest wake up calls I had was my last corporate job in the medical field, and the office was predominantly women. There were no alpha males in our department. We were pretty much a predominantly Black department with predominantly about 80 to 90% Black women. Our supervisor was a Black woman. Her manager was a Black woman who was over the department. And, they probably answered to a white, Black, whoever at the top. I know it was some white dude who pretty much ran the company at the time. What I'm saying is it was not a lot of me and yous at these jobs.
Yeah.
And for us to survive.
So what about the men they did hire? Were these guys that were batting both sides?
One of the main guys who he was one of the, I guess, leads in one department, he used to come to work with feminism shirts. Now, granted, he was one of those dudes, like he can get any girl he wanted, right? Like he wasn't like
he was putting camouflage on.
He wasn't like a fat, undesirable slob that was trying. No, he was like one of the dudes. Like he'd be fly to work and everything, but the way he would pander to the women, I understand that he worked with nothing but women, so it's a certain level of care you have to have around them. You're not dealing with men, but the way he would pander or wear feminism shirts are just like the tactics he used to survive there. I can tell were disingenuous, but I can tell that he understood the game to the point where if he didn't submit his manhood and subscribe to feminism around these women, they were going to eventually weed him out, like the way they did.
That's damn near every HR department right now. Recently I was at the hospital. I'm not going to tell you for what, but I was at the hospital, and I'm just saying at these jobs, there's no men, bro. I'm like, where, especially if it's at a female dominated field, like you're talking about nurses, you talk about these departments or the people in corporate, they're all the real men, people talking about where are the real men? They've been pushed out. Every real, like even in Connecticut, you're starting to see the effects, even though this is in my opinion, this is a very balanced state because everybody has to work. This is a very expensive state, but you even start to see it there. And then don't get me started with New York City. Do not even get me started with New York City. What they push, the people that are in their positions, it's a joke. It's a joke. They're seeing the effects of it right now, but it's a joke.
With me, where we'll be in meetings, and because I disagree or I don't see a certain vision and I'm expressing it, and I'm not yelling, this is a male voice in the room.
Yeah.
And because it's a room full of women, this male voice is going to automatically dominate, not because I'm right, not because of the age difference, but just because I am a man in the room.
Yeah.
And a lot of things in the department didn't get fixed or didn't get addressed because you don't have a man addressing these things and forcing accountability, because it's nothing but women, and it's like everybody gets a trophy. You can't offend anybody. We're not getting to the root, calling people out who should be getting a certain level of coaching that sometimes only a man can provide, or somebody who's exuding masculinity and directivity can provide.
Agree. No, man. I mean, you had to stay in the closet. Sounds like to me. I mean, you can be yourself. It's funny because a lot of these companies claim to be all about expression and be who you are and all that work-life balance stuff. But in that situation, you had to stay you were the one that had to stay in the closet with who you were. And the
Right.
funny thing about it is we got all these movies and all these TV shows and all of these things about, well, I was walking into the boardroom and I wasn't really accepted women in the boardroom. And it's like, okay, well, what about us when we walk into a boardroom that's not predominated by men? Like seriously, like if I walk into Sephora right now,
Right.
Literally, if I go into the mall and go into Sephora and I'm like, I think like there's going to be an issue. If I go to try to work at, was that Tory Burch or something like that? Of course, I can't just walk into Tory Burch and then expect, you know what I mean?
Right, sometimes you have to, like the only types of men I do see working in these stores are part of the community.
Of course, yeah.
And it's kind of like,
of course, bro, but it's all about they're aligned with the feminists to block you out.
Or the track of trying to slow down reproduction. In my way, I feel like a lot of the Me Too movement has seeped over into the workplace to the point where, like, I know back in the day, like women probably did get harassed by certain men. But at the same time,
I heard a very interesting statistic on Fox News. I got to tell you this.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, Pyro, do you have any Me Too stories up your wheelhouse, or like fake? Like, do you know anybody that has been a victim of the Me Too movement?
In Jamaica, no. We don't have that.
All right, because I was wondering, because I'm like, maybe it might be different in Jamaica, but I'll say this: in America, I've already known way too many people that have been victims of fake Me Too, meaning women women gets mad at them, and then she'll just say, "Oh, he sexually harassed me," and then like the bosses will be like, "What are you talking about?" And then they'll be like, "Okay, when did this happen?" "Oh, didn't you see them all huddled around me?" And it's like they're huddled around you every single day. Like I've seen this. I have seen stuff like that. You know what I mean? And I remember I got saved from that because I was kind of part of the huddle where we were all talking together. We didn't say anything to her. She was the type of girl that she would talk she was the crazy one. She would talk crazy, make everybody else really feel uncomfortable, and we'd be like, "Yo, chill." So we would try to actually keep her under control. This is why when she tried to say what she said, first of all, I was shocked that she didn't mention my name, but I guess that's me just being like, I guess because usually when I'm a part of certain huddles, I kind of stay back and I just I try not to be too close. But I've seen this live, or I remember there was a woman. This is all at one work spot, mind you. One at one work spot. So one girl, the cook said something to her. I don't know what he said, really, but it couldn't have been that bad. It couldn't have been that bad. And she was like, "Man, I don't like what he said to me." She goes straight to the manager. He got fired right on the spot, just like that. I swear on everything. He got fired right on the spot.
Wow,
that's how like
that manager he must be smashing that girl.
I don't know because she was already pregnant, but she is a flirt. She is a flirt, and somebody that I knew, somebody that I liked personally in terms of as a personality. But whatever happened, I just found it shocking that he just got fired on the spot just like that. And I'm like, this guy's been working here for a year now. We don't have a cook right now, bro. Who's gonna cook? You're just like, what the
wow.
Yeah, so he got fired right on the spot. So this is
so they
didn't
even like say
no
like,
investigations.
Right,
no investigations.
Let's just talk this out. How this started? How did this lead up to that?
Nope.
Why did she say this? What did you do to make him say that to you? None of that?
Nope. He just walked by. He said something. I don't remember. I don't know what he said. Maybe he said something about her looking nice. I don't know what happened. He walked by and said something to her and walked away. And then she went to the manager, said that, and he was fired instantly. Just like that. He got called to the office. He came out and was like, "Oh yeah, the manager just fired me." I'm like, what? What the fuck happened? And then he goes right back up to the girl. "Hey, yo, just to let you know, they just fired me for what you just said." He just walks away. And I'm like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "Yo, what just happened?" This was like in a span of like 15 to 20 minutes. You're just like, what happened? You know, that's how it's like it's what do you talk about, like zero tolerance. So
Yes.
that whole Me Too stuff, this has gone too far, and now we're basically I say that, like, most men, they look at that and they're just like, I'm not even gonna talk to women, and like at the job. So much so, like, that's what I do. I don't talk to any woman at my job. That's what, like, at the latest job that I was at, I don't talk to any woman. So I put myself in a position where it's clear that they're trying to talk to me. So in case if anybody says anything, because there's always gonna be at least one person that's like a third party that's seeing what's going on, and somebody
Yeah.
will. And like I said, I believe if your intentions are right, I believe there is gonna be somebody that sees what's happening, and they're gonna come to your defense. That is my experience in life. There's always gonna be at least one person, whether it be a boy or girl, that sees what's going on. And if they hear something that seems out of character, they're gonna be like, I don't think it happened this way.
Yeah.
So
They would say, no, yeah, that's not Chris. Chris wouldn't do anything like that.
yeah. So like at my old job, like there would be these old women that would really try to, because I wouldn't say hi to anybody, and it's no disrespect, but it's just I just don't feel like doing all that. But I would do this. Now, I remember one day I went to a specific girl. I don't know, she was probably around my age. Maybe that's why she took respect or liking to me. And I was asking her a question about like how to clock out or clock in. Can I use the computer or whatever? And we got along, even though we
Mhm.
never talked to each other. But it was a mutual, like, get along.
Conversation. Mhm.
Yeah, and then you just walk away. You don't talk whatever. But then she would see basically there would be this old lady that was working at a jewelry department, and then another old lady that worked at the shoe department, that are always trying to basically yell at my name because I'm just trying to just go by and do my thing, but they just won't let me do it. They just always got to yell my name and just, you're not gonna say hi to us. And it got like so bad where I'm just like, let me just avoid walking at this lane altogether so I can avoid these old hags doing this to me. So the thing is, though, the girl at this other department that I was talking about clocking it, she would see it, and I could tell that. So even like during break, I'm just walking, I'm just trying to get my soda, and then I remember I said hi back, but I kind of said it quietly because I'm not a boastful type of person in public.
Yeah.
So, and then when I said hi back, one of the old ladies was like, "What? Didn't you hear what I said?" But then the girl that I was talking with, she was like, "No, he said hi." she had to correct her, like, "No, he said hi." It's like, "Well, I didn't hear." No, I was like, "No, he just that's what he." So just off of our few interactions, that's probably the one woman that I saw. I was just like, okay, she has what you call what do women like to use against it? Emotional intelligence.
Yes.
She already taught, by just our few interactions, she could just tell, okay, he's not trying to harm anybody. He just wants to do his job and just get out the way.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's
Just
pretty clear that she understood that. But like I said, most women are not gonna be that understanding. This is why I
yes.
use that girl as an example. Most girls are not going to be that understanding. They're just going to be like, you have to talk to me. You have to say hi to me. Even though, like, most women are not going to allow you to be like, okay, you know how most men are like, okay, I'm not going to talk to no woman at work.
Yes.
Most of the time, you're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. So I would say this in terms of a strategy, just make it where, because that's what I just made it where it's clear that you want to talk to me, not me wanting to talk to you. Because for some weird, like, if you make that initiative, they're gonna make it seem like it's you that you're putting yourself in that situation. But it's clear that, like, it's like, for me, it was clear that I was trying to avoid them. It was pretty clear that I wasn't really trying to talk to anybody. But because women can be very overzealous on that, there was at least one person that was a witness to be like, he's not. Trust me, she's not like that. And it did help that was one of the more popular women at that job. So that did help. That helped me. That helped me if I could get somebody like that could understand. Like, he's not. But most people are not going to be afforded that privilege. No, nobody's going to be afforded that privilege. And like I said, I don't know why. They probably, the older women that was like, he never says hi to us. Like I'm like, I didn't say hi to the younger girls as well. Like it was, but like I said, the younger girls, they didn't care because they're not trying to talk to me anyways like that at the job. But all the complaints were basically where they were openly, why don't you say hi and all this? And then it's all older women. They still think things should be the way it is, but they don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Let me see.
They're lost.
Yeah, they're just lost. And it's not because they're old. I just want people to leave me alone and let me just do my job. Like, I'm not trying to do a whole conversation and all this nonsense. I only talked to one dude at that job, and he ended up becoming the supervisor. And I still talk to him from time to time, but I only talked to him, and then there was like one or two, and there was like a couple of older dudes that I was working with that was really cool, and they just that's why I believe dudes have more emotional intelligence than women. It's just because once they met me, they just realized who I was. They're just like, oh, he's just a guy. He's just quiet. He just wants to go. He just wants to do. I just want to do my work and just go home. So they were actually really cool because they were very social. They were very social men. They would talk to everybody, but they didn't hold it against me that I didn't want to talk to anybody. So you had like older dudes like that they were cool. And then I remember I met this one street dude that hooked me up with them fake passes. Like the fake during the pandemic, you know what I'm saying? You had to have a pass to go into certain clubs and bars, and I needed one of them passes. For some reason, I just happened to ask, and he was just like, "Oh, just meet me at this." And he hooked me up. He was one of those street ninjas during that time of my life that really came through because I needed one of them passes. Or I would have not been able to do no gigs in New York. Let me see. Truth Hunter says, and they wonder why men don't talk to them at work. Yeah, it's just. Yeah. But it's not because they were old. It's just they were just annoying. Like not everybody has to say hi to you. Like, do you need? I'm like, damn. Do they need? I'm like, damn. That's why I'm like, the games never really stop. He said, did they sound like Big Bertha, Big Back accents? Well, yes. One of them, yes, and then another one was just purely annoying. CJ said, men marry for love, women marry for business. Yes, that's one of the biggest quotes. That's one of the biggest quotes. That's real shit. That's real shit right there. Shout out to Pyro. But let me see. Let me start playing again.
Watching, I think it was Greg Gutfield. He said this like a couple months ago. He said back in 1970, close to 30 to 40% of women met their husbands at work. Like, can you imagine that today?
And the way they discourage workplace relationships.
You heard that? 30? What he said? 30 to 40% met their spouses at work. Now with Me Too, that put a kibosh to all of that. Just letting you guys know, that put a whole kibosh. I mean, like that, bruh. That ain't happening no more.
Dude, now they don't have to discourage it. We're all afraid.
Literally,
like we're all afraid.
God.
Like you don't have to discourage anything.
How many stories you got of like aunts and uncles or something like that where she's like, "Oh man, he asked me on a date like 15 times. Like I gave in. Like I love this
exactly."
Guy. He's now looking like, damn, I regret like bothering her because now like this is my wife. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
but think about that. You can't approach
the courting.
You can't look at somebody 15 times today. Like, think about that. I remember, it's funny you said that. I remember hearing some of these stories growing up. I remember the guy who got rejected like 4 or 5 times. you know, and
she finally took him up on offer.
Exactly. And so now it's like you can't even talk.
And the thing about it too is like you want me to work more hours than ever as an American. So now I'm here 10 to 12 hours with these women, and I'm being discouraged from dating them outside of the workplace. But if I'm doing what the work demands, I don't have time to go outside the workplace to find a partner. Thus, I'm being a single parent family or just a single household.
Yep.
And I'm never going to build up the tangibles that's going to take to sustain a family, sustain the type of lineage.
And that's not America, man. And so you think about it. It's funny that you talk about you got to work all these hours and, and you're not able to really talk to the women. It's funny because I honestly generally think that when you graduate from college and you start working,
right,
and you're not, if you start working a corporate job and you graduate from college, there's nowhere for you to meet women. You're done. Your days of meeting women are done. Because
now that's an interesting theory that I've also heard from other people. There's where else can you actually meet women if you can't do it at the job? Because most people, they don't do extracurricular. You see, you're not gonna meet your wife really at the club, not really. So outside of these, where are you going to meet your wife? Where are you going to meet your husband? If it's not at school, right? If you're still not in school, if you're just in work, where are you going to meet your spouse? So then it comes into question. So you see now, like I'm going to bring up the example. You see how like now you see like women, they're like joining like jogging clubs and running clubs and all that stuff because they're trying to meet they're saying they're trying to meet their husband, whatever. So they're joining these jogging clubs, these running groups. You're just like, wow. Though that's a sign of not necessarily just desperation, but it just shows that they just don't know where they can find a mate. They're like, damn, where can I find a mate? Because church is not it anymore. Just to let y'all know, church is not it. They said, or go to the, because gyms, you can't meet girls at gyms no more. No, not with them cameras. Not with every broad got their camera on now, especially if you're going to these gyms like the Edge, Equinox, and well, especially if you, yeah. Like there's like now maybe a Planet Fitness, maybe, but but like at the gyms, that's like the worst place to try to chat up abroad. That's one of the worst places to chat up with abroad. Like that's like if somebody asked me, oh man, what should I do? This is girl at this gym. I think I should talk. No, don't do it. That's just my opinion. But that's just my opinion though. Like I don't think gym is the right place to do it. Not the gym, definitely not your work, because that's suicide right now due to the Me Too movement. And gym it's not safe to meet women at gym right now. That's not the place to do it.
If you want to meet women now and you're not meeting them at work or whatever, like dude, you can use a dating app. Those have crashed. But like the guys I see with the best looking women are all in the industry. They're all industry guys. They're guys who work at the club. They're guys who work in entertainment or something like that. Right. Because there, it's funny.
I'm going to rewind that part a little bit. And I've expanded on this point many times. The ultimate irony of the damn Me Too movement, where Aaron basically explains the best looking women are getting picked up by people in the industry or part of the entertainment industry, meaning the athletes, the people that run clubs, right? Or people, the bodyguards, right? It's all these people connected to the industry, yet the Me Too movement originated because people that were connected or part of the industry or had ties to the industry were taking advantage of women because of their position or their ties to the industry. It's the ultimate irony, and it just shows that the whole Me Too movement was pointless, absolutely pointless. So let me rewind that just a little bit to where he talks about the irony.
Them at work or whatever, Like, dude, you can use a dating apps. Those have crashed. But like,
so pay attention here. Pay attention here, right here. This is a great point. It's something that's a great point, man. Right here.
The guys I see with the best looking women are all in the industry. They're all industry guys. They're guys who work at the club. They're guys who work in entertainment or something like that, right?
Including the athletes. The athletes are part of the industry as well.
Right.
Because there, it's funny. You know, that's where the Me Too movement started, was entertainment. But yet now it's like it's spread to everywhere. But the entertainment guys are still meeting their women at work. They're still, ASAP Rocky still meeting Rihanna. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like because those women are selling a certain.
That's why they be going to the clubs. They're looking for guys with their own section, right? It's the ultimate irony. It's like, oh, this. So what was really the Me Too movement about? What if the guys up top, the people with money, the people in the industry are still getting all the best 304s? What was it really about? It really calls into question, what was it really about?
Perception. And like they say, sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Like in certain environments, the rules that we have to go by aren't going to be followed by these people who are making 6-7 figures. They're not going to be followed by these people who are in high demand, right? You know what I'm saying? Just like you can probably do something as a famous person. Well, mostly we know this, and not get the same treatment that you're going to get because you have that type of notoriety. You don't have to be famous, but as long as the women in the vicinity know you have some type of clout or some type of.
So what he's talking about is now a lot of the times the women are now, they're just going off of clout. So
yeah,
if you're not, they're really looking at your follower count. They're looking at your Instagram. They're just seeing how many followers you got. And it's come to the point to where somebody told me, one of my relatives told me that he knows a girl that has a friend that works in a tax collector office. So whoever she swipes right on Tinder, right, that she likes, she sends the name to the woman in the tax collector's office and has her look up his information on how much money he got or where he works, if he still lives with his parents and all. And you're just like, what? They're doing all that. So like I said, the time that women are on right now, they on demon time. Most of them are on demon time. So where they're just going off of, sometimes not even off money. Most of them are just going off clout. So they're just looking at your Snapchat score. They're looking at your Instagram followers or your how much subscribers you got on YouTube. That's what they're going by. So really, you could be broke. This is why many men are like, now they're just like, nah, if I can, they're like, man, I need to be a streamer, man, or I need to be a rapper, or I need to be, because those are the guys that are getting the best, or they're getting the most chances at dating. Like those are the men that are getting the best chances at meeting a date, almost the same amount of chances as the average woman would just get just from existing, So that's why a lot of those men are just aiming for those spots, because a lot of the time the women are, like I said, a lot of the times the women are not even looking for money. They're looking at who has the most clout, or who's willing to, if you're not on that list, who's willing to spend the most money on her. Because there's a lot of rich guys that just don't spend that money like that, and she'll just leave the guy because he's not spending money on her. So it's not necessarily just rich. She's just looking for, who's going to spend money on me, or who has the most clout, so where I can be attached to a guy like that. Because in her mind, if I'm attached to a guy like that, I can find another guy like that if this doesn't work out.
Yeah.
Status within that environment, whether it's a strip club, it's a regular club, it's a workplace.
Yeah.
If she feels like people will look to you as a type of authority, or some type of like, okay, if I say this, I say that, that's when women are attracted. Women are more attracted to power than anything. Because I've seen fat, sloppy, crazy looking dudes who like the baddest chick, and it's like, what are they there for?
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of times it's just like for the status. But I mean, with guys too, right? Like I said, with us, we're gonna go for the chick that looks good on our arm. Like, I don't really believe in that whole like, oh, I like who I like, or dudes who date like unattractive women on purpose. Like, I don't subscribe to that, because are you really getting something you're qualified for? Or are you getting what you want?
Yeah.
Like a lot of people talk about Opie and Faithful. It's like, listen, if you have a lot of options, are you just going to go to the dealership and pick out first RC? Or are you going to, if you're qualified to get the showroom car, that's what you're going to do.
Yeah.
So I think that plays with men and women. But at the same time, just getting back to the conversation about the workplace and everything, and just trying to find some type of, I guess, the social media to holler at women, because there's more women than ever in the social environment in the workplace. You know what I'm saying? Especially in corporate America. But it's less men than ever.
Yeah.
So the men who are in these places, you're dealing with probably like 10, 15 women a day you would probably talk to, but you can't talk to them because of.
It doesn't matter. I got to be honest with you. Everybody always throws the numbers out there, right? Like when you go to college,
right?
Oh, there's 10 women for every one man. There's 15 women for every, it doesn't matter, right? Because those 15 women they all want the same guy.
Yeah.
Or in this day and age, the same woman.
And honestly, but I'll say this too, especially going.
It's actually a lot worse because it's literally, they say it's 17 to one guy, but really it's 50. It's almost like, it's almost like 100 and something to one athlete. Especially when you're talking about college campuses, it's not 17 to one regular guy. That's that. They're not looking for the average guy. They're not. That's if they do happen to run across a guy like that and they're going out with him, that's very temporary. That's temporary. Especially when you're talking about college relationships, especially when you're talking about freshman, sophomore year, that doesn't exist. Maybe junior year, maybe senior year, where you're talking about the girls that are trying to get married, so then they'll just be like, okay, let me relax. Right. But when you're talking about freshman, sophomore year college, like there's no relationships, like a real relationship going on. They're all trying to mess with whoever's the most popular on campus, whoever's the RA, or whoever's the athlete, whoever's the big man, the quote unquote big man on campus, whoever's the most, popular frat boys, whoever's in the fraternity. Dudes with actual, they going for clout first, especially if you're talking about college. If they're going for money, they're just going to go on seeking. Especially in today's day, if they're going once they're going for money, they're just going to go on seeking, or they're just going to go on one of those sugar sites if they want money. But when they're on campus, they're going for clout. They're going for who got the most clout now, and especially now what they got the NIL deals. Now the college athletes can get paid, and they showing up in their Hellcats and their Mustangs and whatnot. Every Negro football player got a Hellcat in Alabama and Florida, and they pulling up, vroom, whatever. They coming through with their car, and they're bling bling and all that nonsense. What? There's no shot for the average dude. No shot, because now they got NIL deals where they can get paid. Where you got them like, or you have like what did that? I remember Alabama, like it's an Alabama quarterback that was playing, and he was like the highest paid college athlete in like the whole class. Oh yeah, Bryce Young. And the money that he was making, please, I'm pretty sure he showed up. Man, stop it. There's no there you man, especially they got no if you the average dude, you got damn near no shit. You just got to do what you can, pick up the girls that you can, and just be all right with it. Is like there's no amount of game. You better have some money, or you better have a nice YouTube channel. You better have you better be one of them skit ninjas, or you want to be one of those dudes that go to the parties and start interviewing people, asking people what their body count is for YouTube followers. If you're not doing that, you're gonna really struggle in the dating market.
Yeah. Average dudes are just gonna fall off. I mean, we already are, but like remember, outside of America, we have like millions of options we want, or we can get, if you get what I mean.
Yeah, like I said, most of this stuff is really just an American thing. Like, so the average dude, like I said, like the biggest joke I always say is like, and especially when you talk about white incels, when you talk about Caucasian incels, I said a Caucasian, the joke is the Caucasian incel is just a person that just won't move to the Philippines or that's my opinion. Like a Caucasian incel is just a person that refuses to pay for it, or meaning he refuses to go to the Philippines, he refuses to go to Thailand, he refuses to mess with black women. That's a Caucasian incel. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's really what that is. That's just a person that really wants to be liked by like the best Caucasian woman, but he's not really getting that reciprocal love. And he has Caucasian women on such a pedestal that he lets them dictate what he probably thinks what his worth is, even though you can literally go to Colombia and literally you can pay for a chick. You could literally pay for a chick in Colombia that is way better. Like, I'm talking about that looks way better. I'm talking about a hooker in Colombia looks way better than the average broad in America. That's
That's
how,
true.
like, it's literally not, and then you just to come back here with like a three, a woman that's a three that's literally looking up and down like you're nothing. Is like what? You're just like what? Nah, fuck all that. So that's, like I said, a lot of it is an American problem. Truth Hunter said too much power corrupts woman. Oh yeah. Rocky is right. He said Me Too is and always was about taming average men. Exactly. And a lot of it, it was just another way to basically filter out the average men, or
Yeah.
men that are perpetrating men of value, meaning you'll have men that like to perpetrate that they really are running things, that they are getting money and they are moving up in life, but they're lying. They're lying so they can get women. So they want to, so that's why they're even also adding to the, like, they were trying to add that law, like if a man makes a certain amount of money and she sleeps with him, and if he was lying, they're trying to say that's great. So that already shows you what the agenda is.
Mm-hmm.
that already tells me everything I need to know. What this whole Me Too stuff and consent and all this stuff, we already know what that's all about. They're just trying to filter out the average men that they really don't, who they feel like they're above. You know what I mean? They want to just save those guys for later if all else fails.
Yes.
Let me see. Young Doka says you can't meet them at gyms, your job, or church, and cold approaches have been canceled unless you're a Chad. Yeah, exactly. Unless if you are a Chad or a Tyrone, it's gonna be really hard for you to approach even the average broad. Forget a woman that's actually cute. You need to be you being a Chad or a Tyrone or somebody with clout is now minimum. Is like now bare minimum requirement for doing especially cold approaching. Man, like yeah, you need to have some clout, or you need to be very attractive as a,
Yes.
which is a very low percentage of men. Like I'm talking about very low. So
Jacksonville, bro. Like last night I was out, and I see, and maybe this is a Florida thing too. I see a lot of attractive women with regular ass looking dudes, right? And
oh yeah, that like Young Doka said, what law is that? Yeah, there is a law that they were about to. I don't know if they passed it, but where if a man lies to a woman about the money that he makes, or sorry, if he lies to the woman about his occupation, meaning if he says he was a lawyer, but it turns out he's a waiter, right? But he used his fake title as lawyer to get a woman to sleep with him. And if she sleeps with him and finds out that he was lying, he can get charged with coercion. Let me see if I can look up that law. Man lies about
Oh, I wouldn't
occupation law.
say it's grape, but I would say it's fraud.
Was it what they call it, grape by deception, I think. Great. It was about to pass in New York. Let me grape. Let me not. First of all, let me not search that on my my actual Google. Let me open up incognito.
That's what I do.
Deception law in New York. It was either going to pass the law in New York or Cali, because you already know those states. Yeah. I think that's what it is. Kate. Let me see. I think this is it. Yeah, this is it. I think this is it, where basically the Grape is Grape Act. So basically where they basically broaden the horizons of what qualifies as SA. And you're just like, bro, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous. So they're talking about, yeah, when it talks about consent and all this stuff, you know, and retroactive right here. So the noun consent must be taking place. However, for a consent conveyance, section 7 in our already existing SA laws base consent on the conveyance, not the actual occurrence of consent. A complying victim who was maliciously influenced to do so could not have consented, no matter what they said or did or how enthusiastically they expressed willingness. Yeah, exactly. Enthusiastic consent and all this nonsense. But really, this is all nonsense, because if a transformer tricks a man into sleeping with him, nothing happens to the transformer.
Yeah,
And
nothing happens.
and if the man retroactively tries to hurt the transformer because the transformer technically graped him, but if the man tries to retroactively react to that, he gets put into prison, and not the transformer for literally graping him because he tricked him. So like I said, a lot of these laws, they're just so this is where they kind of broaden the horizons of what consent is, you know what I mean? The legal definition of grape to include a lot of these things, you know, like so instead of just grape being you know, unwanted vaginal penetration by a dingling, now they just broaden it into, when they talk about deception, deceiving your sex partner. Oh, right here. Let me see. Yeah, deceiving your sex will be a crime backed by New York Democrats. So this was the one where they're talking about deception, grape by deception, grape by concealment, or grape by artifice. So basically, if you lie about your job, if you lie about your occupation, if you lie about who you are to get what you want, they can retroactively take back the consent, and you can get in trouble for that. I don't know if it was officially passed.
That's the most stupidest thing I have ever heard.
Yeah. You know, but that's, you know, that's the word. But that's particularly in New York, you know, and New York is just you know, New York is New York. New York is New York. That's all I can say about that. Truth Hunter says, I always found that law funny since women fraud men with makeup. Like, yeah, like but if like, dude, I've made points like that out loud, and they just don't want to hear it. They just don't want to hear it. I'm like, we could get in trouble for deception, but yet a crackhead could put on a pound of makeup and trick the average person in the club, and then I end up with a crackhead baby. I got tricked. I got tricked, but they don't count that. They don't count that as deception. They don't. He said, ridiculous. Women would never want to take an L. Just admit you got finesse. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. that's not gonna happen. This Young Doga also says, where's the law for men whose wife prior to marriage did everything, then after do nothing? Yeah, women that lie about their body count prior to marriage. This happens all the time. This happens, like, women, when they meet the person that they know is going to marry them, they always lie about their body count. Always. That's why I laugh when women say, "Oh, I don't care." When they say, "Oh, body count doesn't matter," but as soon as they meet the guy that they know is going to marry them, they lie about their body count. They always say a number that they think is going to sound good to their partner. So if they're dating like a regular dude that's really not religious, they'll say, "Oh yeah, I've had a few." They'll say like, "I had 12." They'll say something something like that, or they'll say, "I had 10." Or but like say if they got like a simp, they'll be like, "I had 3." Or if they have somebody clueless, they'll be like, "Oh yeah, I had 5 or I had 7." It's always not gonna be, you know, so. Or if they have a really a person that really cares about it, they'll be like, "I only had 1." They'll be like, they'll literally say, "I've had 3." That's what they usually say. "Oh yeah, I had 3." Or say like if they never lost their virginity vaginally, they'll just say, "I'm a virgin." There's a lot of women that have gotten away with that. There's a lot of women that have gotten away with that.
Like women hate when women hate when dudes like lie to them, like a big major lie, a lie that doesn't benefit them. But when you ask them questions and ask them to tell the full truth, they will just skip around the corner and just, "Can we just change the subject?" And like her guy best friend or boyfriend would say, "Come on, man, like let let it vibe out."
Yeah, that's one of the worst people out there. The male sims that just let them. Yeah, they always say the same thing. Yeah, just let her vibe out and all this nonsense. Yeah, that gets on my nerves a lot.
Yeah,
It just sometimes it blows my mind.
I'll say that again.
Yeah, I completely hate that. I hate that so much.
Let me see. I see something in the private chat. Oh no. Oh, that's nothing. Let me see. Let me play video.
Because certain places I go to, even in Jacksonville, like the bad chicks are like the super. Even in my city, like some of the bad women, because we're not like a big city. You probably same thing in Kansas City. We're like, like the bad chicks.
Yeah,
they treat them like Ari and like the famous girls on social media. You know what I'm saying? But if you take them hoes like the LA or Miami, they're just regular bitches. You take them hoes to Houston, they just regular bitches. But in the hometown, they're like hometown heroes.
And you take the baddest women from LA or Houston, and you take them to Columbia, and they're on the bottom of the barrel.
I like getting that too. Like,
yeah, no, bro. I just got bad. You take them somewhere else, they're the bottom of the barrel. But this is the thing. Well, number one, I'm happy that average men are getting super attractive women. I don't really think that that's what's happening today. I mean, because you may see it out. You may see you may see two birds land on the same stone. But what we have is men having the least amount of sex of all time. The statistics are saying.
Even Judge Joe Brown said that a few months ago.
The statistics are proving otherwise for that. I got to be honest, man. I'm not seeing that many men with women as I did before. And I'm not seeing that many women who are young or attractive that have children. I'm not seeing them with children. How many women you see that are young pushing the stroller? It wasn't like it was in the early 90s or even the mid 2000s. When we were wearing tall tees, it wasn't like, bro, like you've seen a bunch of women who were attractive, like with 2 kids. These women aren't having kids. These men aren't having sex. Something's changing. So yeah, I get it. But even with that, things
it's a lot of hoops and valleys, bro. It's a lot more we have to do now. And it's funny because you would think social media would make things easier to make, but it actually made it like harder than ever, because you can be talking to somebody and then somebody else, like back in the day, right? The local pretty girl will probably get pulled up by the dude in the neighborhood, right? Could probably get pulled by like the guys on her side of town.
Yeah.
Now you can be building a relationship with like a chick who's like a cat. She's like a 9 or 10. She can dress. She's fine. You'll be talking to her, and like next week she's sitting in somebody's Lamborghini. Yeah. Because social media, it makes the world smaller. So sometimes a chick that you may be wanting to, like get with, it's already a bigger fish going after her. But even in reverse, sometimes with a girl, like, yeah, she may be attractive, but like it's going to be a lot easier now to cheat on this girl who's attractive. Because like I said, 20 years ago, this was the bad bitch in the neighborhood. Now I got 7 of them.
But the thing about it is she was only limited to the neighborhood. She couldn't trade up from the neighborhood, right?
Fair use, by the way. And obviously we've done streams before when we look through the Instagram pages, like famous Instagram models, and really they're just mid. They're very mid, but just because on IG the problem is men like to look at women's flesh. No matter what it is, or no matter what angle it's put at, they just like looking at women's flesh. So all they got to do is show up on Instagram. They don't even have to be half naked. They just show a little bit, or they're just have their back turned, and they just because they have a nice shape, that's all it takes. 20,000 followers off rip. It could be it could be just a woman, not even with no bikini pics, can easily get 50,000 followers. Easily. So that one broad is just like, you can be in like I said, a lot of those Instagram models, and the celebrities will tell you, because they'll fly them out, and then they'll finally look at these so-called models, and they look at them, they're just like, oh my God, this chick, I made a mistake. A lot of them will tell you that, have that story about them, because most of them are actually really mid, but you got the filters, you got the butt lifts, you got the breast lifts, you got the surgeries and all that stuff. So a lot of that is fake, and you'll see like the average broad that was probably just supposed to be a person that was supposed to be the wife of a janitor. Like that was probably the most she was meant to be in life, but because of Instagram, she literally, the world is now her oyster, or she'll have like 1 million followers, right? So let me bring up that one girl that I always bring up. What's that one girl that I always bring up? Abby Burner, right? So this chick, I know a lot of girls that look like this, bro. But because she has a quote unquote nice shape, right? Quote unquote, right? And what is she? She's 23, right? Okay, according to her. But because she has a nice shape, so like this is probably a country girl, probably. Because I knew girls at the country gigs that kind of look like that. So
let me see her good.
So a girl that looks like this, she'll probably, maybe a farmer would wipe her up, and then that's it. That's as high as she can get. But now a girl like that, even though she's still not married, but in her, look how many followers she got. She got how many million of followers? She got 2 million followers, right? So in her mind, she thinks, man, I need a guy with, like, in her mind, she's looking for a guy that has like 10 million followers, or even millions of dollars themselves. In her mind, settling is a CEO. In her mind, settling is a guy with 6 figures, just a guy with 6 figures, no matter how he gets it. That will be settling for her. She's looking for something that's like way out of her face range, instead of price, really her face range. Because really, this is like, to be honest, with no disrespect, but this is a 6. She's a 6. But because she has a nice, quote unquote, nice body, hold on. Let me see if I can find a photo with no makeup. Let me see if I can find a photo with no makeup.
Good luck finding that.
Let me see. I don't know if I can zoom in on this pic, but guys, this is a 6. This is a 6. There's like no disrespect to her. I'm not saying she's not pretty. I'm just saying this is a 6. This is her all made up. And I'm like, this is a 6. You know what I mean? No disrespect to her. There's no disrespect to her, but that's a 6. But because she got an IG, she has a certain type of body shape. She like, when you look at her earlier photos, she shows a lot of flesh. She's a quote unquote fitness girl, right? Let me see. I think this is even a better photo of, like I'm saying, like, guys, this is a 6. This is a 5 or a 6. But because of Instagram, her self-worth is like, now, like, she's looking at the world, like she's looking at the world differently. So I one day I'll probably do that stream one more time, because I remember doing that live stream about Instagram models and how to know which ones are being flown out, which ones are selling their all that stuff. And I've done that. I've done that stream before. And she definitely is. She's definitely been flown out many times. Definitely been on vacation many times. Like also like I knew like my dating scene was over. Like I knew the dating scene was like finished, where I remember it was like this, like, no disrespect, but she was on the fat side, you know. And I hit her up on Instagram, and before I was about to send the DM, and it was a fat bra, but she already had photos of her doing vacations. And I'm like, she did not pay for that. She did not. I'm like, who's flying her out? I was like, are you kidding me? I was like, there's no way. Because I'm looking at her. I'm like, there's no way, dog. But she's getting flown out. I was gonna say she getting flown out. And she was on the chubby side.
Yeah.
Okay, let me just hit her up on the DMs on the slide real quick, because she is from my area, from what I was doing at the time. I was like, oh, maybe she's from my area. You know, I'm not that high up there. Let me just see if I could sneak one in real quick. And I looking at her IG, and she already got a certain amount of followers, not like that many followers, but I'm looking at these photos. I'm like, where? And then it hit me. I'm like, somebody flew her out. She's been flown out. You're just like, dog, there's no way. And it like showed you the profile of who it was. You just be like, no way. Trust me, yes.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Yeah, like even, and I don't care if you think she's a 3. I don't care if you think she's fat. She's probably been flown out, or you know, she had a friend that was flown out, and they had like an extra plane ticket or some stupid shit like that. And like most of these women do not pay for their vacations. Most of them, they don't pay for their vacations. They don't pay for their travel things. They don't pay for it. So you see these photos right here. So these are the photos that made her get the followers that she has, where she's showing more flesh. But at the end of the day, that's a 6. That's a 6. That's a 6 with a nice-ish body that's willing to show flesh. So when you see these pics, right, at these spots, somebody paid for that, not her. Where she's at, I don't know where she's at, but somebody else paid for that. Somebody else did. She did not pay for that. And don't believe them when they're talking about, but don't you see my businesses in the bio? No, that's the front. So what these people do when they want to pay for your services, they pay into the LLCs that they set up, and they buy out their stuff. And that's basically how they quote unquote pay for them. Instead of just paying for them outright, they put the money into their LLCs. So it could be kind of hidden that way. You really, like, they're not really making money off of selling candles and selling Slim Fast tea and all that stuff. That's not how they're making their money, guys. That's not how they're making their money. Let's go back here.
Right. Like usually that woman had to deal with the neighborhood. Now, I mean, Instagram is basically an open meat market as it is. I mean, it's like speed dating. No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say that it's the eBay for Botox whores. That's what I would call it. I mean, really, it's traded. It's an auction block. I mean, literally, like Instagram to me today is an auction block for women with surgeries and stuff like that.
Anybody can be bought, and everybody has their price, and everybody has their rate.
Yeah, based upon your likes. Think about it. It's a place with the most. That's why we just need to go ahead and legalize prostitution and get this over with, because this half-stepping with prostitution,
it's a short stop
where you can. I get the women get the most and the men get the least. We need to, if this is what we're doing, because right now it's all in their favor. But if you were to open up the market and just make prostitution open and legal, as Seeking Arrangements is open, or as Instagram is open, all that, then all this would change. And like I'm telling you, man, that I think that right now things are so past normal that we have to take drastic steps to get them back closer to base. And opening, like, they're already doing. They're it's funny, man. They're trafficking men right now. Men are being told every day by women, get out there and get my money on the street, bitch. Go pay for my meal at Ruth's Chris, ho.
Yeah.
Like with an attitude, with a vengeance. Like literally the roles have reversed. And now if the men try to flip that Now we have your
Toxic
human
masculinity.
trafficking and all that type of stuff. And the full weight of the system will come down on that man. So it's like, bro, like this is just blatant. And then they're rubbing it in our face. Yeah, I got my job. I'm better than you. Like, bro, it's like, can you? Because to them, I gotta be honest, I don't really think they like money. I don't think they like money. I don't think they like all the stuff that they're doing. I like steakhouses because I like steak. I like certain things because I like them. You follow me on Instagram. Do I have to post everywhere I go?
No.
Do I have to post everything? No, I don't.
That's a great point he's bringing up right there.
I don't like, you're more about this psychological game of people around you than you are about actually accomplishing things. And that's
Right.
their game. I mean, I don't know how much longer it will last, but right now it's getting pretty annoying, just to be honest with you.
I can see that. And I agree on a lot of aspects, especially on the aspect of like, the way we're being spoken to sometimes by women. And it's like, we don't have any rights anymore.
I won't say this. That would be what he did say. If they were to just outright legalize prostitution instead of just being in Nevada, where you can just basically pay for it outright without any threat of you being caught up in a sting operation, right? So
Yeah.
if they were just to just outright legalize it, it would actually, people don't realize that would actually regulate the sexual marketplace. But that means, OnlyFans would go down. There would be no, there'll be like, OnlyFans models would like, they would not be able to get their money.
Yes.
else?
Yeah. A matter of fact, the B-dubs and not like the ones who quote unquote aren't doing the S work, like wouldn't get paid because like most of the dudes wouldn't keep up with their BS just to get some bucks.
Or now that I think about it, actually that means it could make it worse. It could either get really it would either regulate the sexual marketplace, or just completely destroy America, because if men are able to just get that nut off whenever they can, if whatever they can afford to, most women nowadays they literally offer nothing but that. They can't cook. They don't have they don't got no money. They're in debt. They literally offer nothing but pre-owned box. So now you take that out of the equation, where the guys can just pay for the pre-owned box that they already, because the regular women have already pre-owned box. So they're like, shit, I might as well pay a professional to do it. And she has a pre-owned box. They're just like, okay, might as well pay a professional. It would be a lot of women scrambling if they were just like, say, if they just decided to legalize it just today, it would be a lot of women in trouble, because then they wouldn't be able to hold that hostage.
Yeah, the leverage.
It would really, that would actually mess up the game low key. But I don't know. But I do think with this whole thing with the OnlyFans, with women already being flown out with the seeking accounts, the sugar size, you might as well just legalize it. And like this whole stuff where they're doing when they do these things at these spots, and they're catching Johns, where they're punishing the Johns but not the seller. It's like that whole nonsense. That's just unfair. In my opinion, that's just them. That's just that's just people in power just being unfair, just looking to get a quick buck. You trying to basically use men's testosterone, their sexual their sexual fervor and their testosterone against them. So that's just not fair. But like, if they were to just legalize it outright, it would be a lot of people in trouble, and a lot of people would lose money. It would be also there would be a lot of women where a lot of men would realize, oh, that's not really worth my time. So it would be a lot of people stranded out here.
Where we don't have any leeway, or even like I said with dating. And this is one of my main sticklers. Like, a woman can post herself on 5 dates, 5 nights a week, and the niggas she's talking to would just have to fall in compliance. A dude can post a girl's fingernail or an anklet, and he's losing all of his prospects.
Yeah, I mean, women. I mean,
and it's like, why can women openly date and brag about having options, but a man has to move around as if he's only talking to you? And then when relationships occur,
because they control those social media platforms.
And most men the men that do have multiple women, most of them have to lie about it. So they have to sell that. Most men have to sell that dream. I'm talking about most men that are successful in the dating market. Most of those men cannot tell the other woman that, oh, I have other women. They can't, or they're gonna lose them.
Like most of the audience is them.
Women will pressure you to post them because they know you're gonna lose your hoes, and they know when they post their dude, the same hoes in their DMs gonna be there. Yeah. Like women don't lose anything by being in a relationship or being out of a relationship as far as social media currency. But one thing I have noticed a lot is now more than ever, every girl I see with a kid or who's pregnant, I don't see their baby daddy or their husband.
Yeah, they traded up. You think like it's funny, man. I think it's a lot easier. Well, I wouldn't know, but I think it's a lot easier to be a baby mama this day and age than the past. Let's be real. Let's talk about the strip club game. Women weren't making this money 30 years ago. I mean, like, bro, like you have guys who are, I mean, you have men who've gone through school and become engineers and done complex designs. You have women that have gone through and gotten their doctorate degree.
Right.
And then you have women who can't even spell making more than both of them this day and age. It's like, bro, it's getting.
I feel like we should be running more on America.
Also, just with the OnlyFans accounts, that's also added in there.
Autocracy than what's being ran on now. You think it should be more ran off intellect than actual like?
No, I think
talent.
It should be male centered because right now it's not. Like I'm not going to act like I don't advocate for my best interest. Right. I am a man, and I'm going to advocate for what's best for me and my gender. And women are doing the exact same.
And I think to kind of segue.
Now, this is why I like Aaron. Let's keep it above. Most of the conservatives, they be virtue signaling, meaning they're just trying to make themselves look good for women. Most conservatives are afraid to say what he just said right there, where he's just like, this country needs to be male centered. Most conservatives are not going to say that. I would say 9 out of 10 conservatives are not going to say that. Not out loud. They're going to say the quote unquote right things when it really comes down to it. And he just made the perfect point. He said, I will be unapologetic in saying, look, I think this country needs to be male centered because what are the women doing? They're making it woman centered. That's why they're outright voting blue no matter what, because they're just making it woman centered. It's just in their mind, it has to be woman centered. The woman, in their way, the woman, the female way to think, the feminine way to think is the way to think. There is no male way to do anything except for just put your body on a line and just be a eunuch to the average broad.
Way to Clubhouse in a way, I think you've experienced a lot of extremists on the other side. I don't want to say any names, but very large figures on the app.
Oh, they're large, all right. Yeah, in more ways than one.
Yeah, that spew a certain type of rhetoric that I think they're consistent on. The people that they're around stand on that type of rhetoric they're consistent on, and they look for ways to. They believe in the woke culture, the cancel culture, the you hurt my feelings, or I'm going to take something you said and twist it and bring a whole community after you because I don't like the type of principles and type of things you stand on anyway. So I'm always looking to like comb through everything you have with a fine tooth comb. And if I pick out one thing that I don't agree with, I'm going to start a whole education tutorial on why the way you're thinking is archaic and is harmful and violent. One thing I hate about Clubhouse is when people say that words are violent.
Oh my God.
And people act like they're in danger off of like, I've never seen words used as weapons.
Yeah, but the thing about it is this. Okay, let's say the words are violent.
Right.
Okay? So if words are violence, then that is violence. How are you taking away people who are violent? By using violence. So by you silencing my words, you're actually using violence. So who's the violent one? And the thing is this, you're not even using words to destroy my words. You're using, I disagree. I think the person that says that words are violent is a hilarious person, by the way. But you really would have to use violence to stop. How do you stop somebody's words? How do you stop somebody from talking?
You have to shut them up.
Usually, what does that involve? Usually.
Force.
Exactly. Or extortion or blackmail or something like that. Now that's violent.
Well, what do you think about how, I guess, Clubhouse and kind of these Twitter spaces have emerged. How
Yeah, by the way, yeah, the Clubhouse, the Twitter Spaces. So whatever you know that's another part of the Twitter app where you can go on these spaces and you can talk with these people. And that's where I saw. That's when I was on that panel with the panel of the single mammy feminists. Like, bro, like I'll say this in the future, if you are hiring somebody if you are hiring a man that grew up under a single mammy, you're putting your company in danger. And
Yeah.
I'll stand on it. I'm talking about especially today's single mammies. If you are hiring a young man, particularly a young black man, and he grew up under I'm talking about a Gen Z single mammy, a Gen Z or a millennial single mammy, but particularly a Gen Z single mammy, where they're just outright choosing to just become a single mom, and just it's like their thought process is so bad, it's just bad, and they're gonna pass that to their son. Man, fuck 'em, man. Fuck all that. You putting your company in danger if you hire a man I'm talking about after 2030. If you are hiring a 18-year-old young man, 18 through 20, say 18 through, we'll give it some leeway, 18 through 28 or 18 to 30. If you're hiring a young man that's 18 through 30 and he was raised by a single mammy, you're putting you're putting your company like at risk. I'm talking about like serious, like you're putting your company at serious risk. Because when I was on that panel with these people, I was like, this is impossible. These people cannot be this retarded. But they're in positions of power. They got jobs in HR. They're making decisions. I was just shocked by how they just thought, just their thinking process. And you're just like, these are the people that are shaming the average man. These are the women that are making the average man, or just men in general, just feel like they're wrong, but they're wrong. I'm talking about like just so wrong. It's not even, it's scary how wrong they are about life. Where you got like a panel of broads where they're so stupid. When I mentioned about Stevie Wonder when I was mentioning R. Kelly getting his writing credits, the money that he makes from writing, the first thing she says is, R. Kelly can't write. And I'm like, I'm talking about his lyrics. You're just so quick to just put down a black man. You didn't even let the thing marinate in your head. Oh, writing credits, his lyrics, the stuff that he gets paid for. I was just like, I'm just like shocked the whole way through. So yeah, in these spaces like Clubhouses and Twitter Spaces, you'll realize how frighteningly how scarily stupid the average broad is. But the thing is, what's scary about it is they have the positions of power that they have, the jobs that they have, the influence that they have. They have no business being in these positions, but they're there, and it's crazy. it's crazy, man.
How people have formed personalities, leadership groups, quasi cults, movements, content, how it has brought out the worst in people, the best in people, how people have been getting exposed. People have been sitting on high horses and found out they have done very like despicable like things they should be locked up for life for, but they continue staying on high horses. Criminals,
Oh, hold on. I saw something right here. Because Young Doka said they are talking about the 9s and 10s, but the real effects of social media is that the girls that are 5 through 8. I'll say the girls that are 5 through 6 mainly. The 5s and the 6s that, and they think they're higher than that, because those are like just the decent looking chicks, like that are just the average decent looking girl. They're not ugly, but they're just regular chick. The 5s and the 6s, that's who the Instagram has really gassed up, because the 9s and 10s, they're 9s and 10s. Even without a social media, they get stuff paid for them. But the 5s and 6s, though, that is really what the Instagram people. That's really what it's really affect them the most. But Rocky, he's gonna talk about the feminists that I was in that panel with. He said they'll write a think piece about absolutely nothing. Yo, listen to them when they talk about incels. This is how stupid they are. Like when people talk about incels, right? I'm like, here you have a group of people that are not part of the sexual market. It's in their name, involuntarily celibate. So these are people that are not part of the sexual market, yet you think they're the biggest problem in the sexual market. How I still don't understand how that works in their mind. They're that obsessed with a group of people that are not even part of the sexual market. Yeah. So you have these are people they can't even get in, but they have all of your focus. You're just like, wow, okay. Since they're the biggest problem. Oh, all right. You know, it's interesting. Like Americans, Americans never cease to amaze me when they point the fingers at people. I'm like, okay, so you think they're the problem? And I'm talking about all people now. I'm just not just talking about the broads talking about incels, right? I'm talking about just the stuff that Americans will say, no, he's the problem, no, she's the problem. And you'll look at who they're pointing the finger at, and I'm like, what the hell are you watching? Like, so it makes normal. Like, I'll bring it to sports, right? They will, like, the average American, right? Like, say, how do I remember, like, or even a British dude, like the I don't know, Western people, they confuse me. They like, you'll have the Manchester United fans when Cristiano Ronaldo came back to Manchester United. They were looking for somebody to blame because Manchester United wasn't at the place where they needed to be. So you know what they did? They ended up running Cristiano Ronaldo out of Manchester United, even though he was the leading goal scorer. He was the only reason why. And I'm just like, so you think he's the problem, and he's literally keeping you. I don't get that. Just, people cease to amaze me when because what happens is the media does is, just in general, and they're doing it with the incels. They just okay, who can we write the think pieces of? Which group of people gets the emotion stirred up? Okay, let's just say Orange Man bad, boom, and people just run with it. Let's just say it's the incels. Oh, it's the manosphere. Oh, it's the RP. And you're just like, you're just like, what? Oh, okay. I mean, all right. You're just like, okay, so that's the problem. That's the problem. A whole they're a whole group of people that is like not even part of the sexual marketplace. They're not the ones spreading disease. They're not the ones creating broken homes, but they're the problem. It's like, wow. It's like, wow. It just ceases to amaze me who the media decides to point the finger at, who they use to spread an agenda. And really a lot of it is just for clicks, because they know that most people are idiots and they're easily fooled. So they'll do stuff like that. So that is another part of the equation on that end. So I got to be honest about that too as well.
Con artists.
I try to stay away.
Failed professionals.
I've tried to stay away as much as I can, but yeah, I mean, Clubhouse was hilarious, bro. It literally could have been, and I know the Love and Clubhouse thing, it could have been a reality show. Really I got off of it now because number one, I'm permanently banned.
They got your voice banned off it?
Oh, bro, like I'm banned permanently.
Yeah, if you're a conservative and you was on Clubhouse, you probably banned.
I mean, that's fine. I don't really. I mean, I did it. I mean, I think I'd rather do this. I'd rather have conversations, into the camera.
Those getting distributed, and it's a place where, like me, you can have a conversation 3 weeks later. Somebody can come right back to this conversation.
Yeah, it's fine, and absolutely. And then the people that are on there, I mean, I'd love to see you try to roast me face to face. I'd love to see your comments to me face to face, not face to face physically, but of course face to face over the camera. Because I've gotten on live and gotten a couple people off from live. But Clubhouse it's hilarious, right? it's you really get the chance to understand people. But the thing that I think I like the best about it was we get to see how black men have no choice, especially if you're a heterosexual black man. You have no choice but to move to the right. Like you have nowhere to go. There's nowhere for you to move on this table right here. You have to. This is gone for you. You're going. You don't have any choice. You over here with the rest of you're over there with the rest of the misfit toys.
I feel like
these are facts, bro. Like that's why, like in 2024, if you are a black man and you are a liberal, I'm not saying you have to be a Republican, but I'm just saying, like, if you are a black man and you are a liberal, I mean, I'm like, bro, I mean, what the fuck? You're gonna literally you're siding with the broads or the people that do like they want nothing to do with you. Like so much to the point where it's just like the only way you can survive as being a black male liberal is if you're a fag. That is it. If you're just an open, I should have said that, but but if you have to be that for you to even stay there, or you're just old, or if you're just an older dude not looking for trouble, you're not trying to upset your wife, and I get that, but there's no way. There's no way. What he said is some real shit. It's just, like, he's basically saying if you are a man with nuts, there's no way in the year 2020 or what year it was 2022 at the time he said, but in the year 2024, and especially what you're seeing what's happening to Orange Man, there's no way you could be a liberal. That makes it as a man. If you are a man with a straight man with nuts, how can you be a liberal? How? It's impossible. That makes no sense, especially hearing the stuff that liberal women have said about black men, particularly open black liberal women. What they've said about black men? There's no way for you. And Aaron, he's saying there's nowhere for you to go except be Republican or be on the right hand side. But I just say there's no way you can be a liberal. There's no way. You're literally being with a group of people that they want you dead, dog. They don't even want you alive.
And they call the dudes who vote conservative Uncle Tom, but they are the Uncle Tom themselves.
Exactly. So that's why I always say most black men, they really are conservative. They just can't say it out loud. But I'll say this in 2024, like that has to be out the window, in my opinion. That has to be in 2024. That's got to be out the window. You can't side with the left anymore. Knowing the people that you see, seeing the Cynthia G's of the world, seeing the divestors, right? Seeing the stuff that white liberal women have said, the stuff that black liberal women have said, the stuff that women are voting for. I'm talking about of all races now. The stuff that women are voting for en masse. They're voting for your replacement. They're basically voting for a certain group of men to be replaced, whether it be with immigrants or with whatever. They're voting you out. Basically, they're voting you out. Mm-hmm. How could you even be a liberal unless if you're pro you being just being dead, just pro you being just forgotten about and not even mattering? You know, that's like there's nowhere for you to go. So I definitely agree with that point.
Your movement kind of neutralized, because you remember when we first got on the app, if a black woman was talking and somebody coughed, don't interrupt a black woman. Don't interrupt. Why are you speaking when a woman is talking? It was like you could not.
He's not exaggerating, guys. I was there. He's not exaggerating, and it's same low key same thing is going on Twitter Spaces, but definitely on Clubhouse. That dude, I want nothing to do with that.
Talk if a woman in general, don't matter what ethnicity was. If a woman was talking, like you got to go on mute. Remember, it was like they used to have rooms of like even sometimes like the divestors or something. It's like they would have rooms that were just like taking dumps on black men, and then you would have the counter where you have rooms that were taking dumps on black women. And I think
I was an equal opportunity dumper, by the way.
But no, of course I've seen that firsthand. But what I'm saying is what was great about it was that you've seen both extremists and you kind of seen both of them, both parties kind of, I won't say be neutralized, but like if you're gonna make the thing that I noticed is like, okay, with social media and with free speech and everything, if you're gonna make a space for this, there has to be a counter space.
This is true.
And everybody's not ready for the counter space to your space.
And that's my issue right now with CPAC. Okay. They don't want to be the counter space. You want to be moderate. You want to ease out of a street fight. You want to move.
You want to blend in and try to
like, bro, like
it seems like they want to blend in to like cast their net out and then put red dye in their net once they got it.
What goes around comes around. Okay. These people, literally, they called you racist. They called you white supremacists. They burned your country to the ground. They tore down fucking statues. There are people that legitimately hate you. Okay. And on top of that, you have a radical feminist movement, which we've all.
He's talking, and CPAC, he's mentioning what he's talking about. That's the Conservative Political Action Conference. So that's just their events that they usually do every year or every other year. I don't know if they only do it for election years or whatever, but that's just a conference that all the conservatives come together. But like I said, the conservatives now are not, they like I said, like I didn't see, like, dude, all the rainbow community got all the big dudes, dog. If you like Z, like I'm telling, all the Transformers are like huge, and like the average like conservative dude is like my height. Like yeah, they've the rainbow community successfully seems to always successfully recruit the most fittest, the most genetically gifted people on their side to waste their genetic potential. Meanwhile, the conservatives, we just have just regular dudes. Not nothing wrong with us. It's just the rainbow people, for some reason, they always got all the mutants on their side.
Yes.
so I didn't seen like videos of like these rainbow, like I didn't seen a video of a gay dude. He literally had this conservative dude in the McChicken position, meaning like he had the dude he had this dude flipped upside down. He was carrying this conservative dude. It is just, and he's like, "You see what I could do to you?" And I'm just like, "Oh hell no!" I saw that video. It was a black gay dude, and it was like a huge, like the guy was huge, and fighting this like this skinny average conservative Caucasian dude, and it was just such a mismatch. It was bad. Like, so like I said, you can't. What the Conservative Party is now filled with right now is not. There's no sign of strength. There's no sign of strength. It's just people in there trying to be moderates. It's not what it used to be. It's definitely not what it used to be.
Already been through, right? Then you have this bullshit where they literally shut you in your home. Like the people, like I've gotten into 3 arguments today at CPAC. Well, the Constitution. What the fuck are you talking about? Right. What? Well, liberty and freedom. Bro, they just made everybody take a lemon juice shot in their arm less than a year ago. Like what are you talking about? These archaic ideas. It's words on a piece of paper. If you're not willing to fight for that, it's irrelevant. Like, bro, like you say one joke, you're banned for life. I hope I don't get banned for some shit I said on here. I mean, it's like it really is. People have this archaic idea instead of looking at where they are. And like I said, even when it comes to black women, bro, you don't really have a choice. It's either it's game, set, and match with the institutions and the powers that be. Right? They got an offensive line. They got wide receivers. They got running backs. They have the court system. They have politics. Look at the Democratic Party. It's funny to me, right? Because the Democratic Party was very moderate when Obama was running in 2008 because most of the black candidates you saw were men. Now you look today, what are most of the black candidates that are running? Women. And look at how it's drifted. Look at how it's drifted, right? Look at like literally, because look at how DC, Atlanta, Baltimore, all these places, and you go drive down the street. Who do you see running for judges and stuff? Listen, I'm not mad at you, but like, dude, men got to step up, and you got to realize, listen, these women, they moved on. They're all about, they're coming after the throne. They want their power. They want to take what you have, and they want to, bro. Not only that, they want to rub it in your face. They want to. Not only do they want to beat you, especially women today, they want to beat you. They want to high step into the end zone, Deion Sanders style, while running up the score. You know what I realized too? What you're saying, I feel like.
I hope people are paying attention to this. This is everything he's saying is facts. If people don't realize this by now, I don't know what you're paying attention to. Every time something goes, women are buying more homes, women are more educated than men. And so anything that they're doing more than what men are doing, they're going to rub it in your face, and you're just like, whoa, I thought this was about equality. I thought this was about equal representation and all this. No, that's not what it's. That's not the goal. You know. Oh, Garrett, what's up, bro? Got a Warband member in the house. You know, shout out. You know, trying to do this all Black Republicans Matter episode.
Yeah.
We got this guy here, Aaron. You know, he's one of the few conservatives that I actually respect out here. The boy Jay is a conservative, but he probably votes for more right-leaning things, and he lives in Florida, so that's another story. Now, Florida boy, and so Aaron here, this is the guy that I'm focusing in on, because even if you disagree with his stances, there needs to be more guys like that where okay, I need to be able to go to a spot where it's like, okay, these are where all the Black liberals are, but then I need to be able to go to a spot where, oh, okay, these are where all the Black Republicans are. There's not a whole lot of guys like this that have platforms, and if they do have platforms, they get demonetized. So this is why I have this stream, what he calls the All Black Republicans Matter, because it seems like just conservative voices in general are being censored, whether it be on YouTube, Facebook, but especially when you talk about Black male conservatives or Black male Republicans, they are heavily censored, not only by the powers that be, but by the people in their own community. So I want to be able to see more Black Republicans like an Aaron with their stances, whether it be extreme or not, but they need to have a voice as well. They definitely deserve a voice as well. Not that BS where, because it's clear what's happening. You got certain women in power, and they're filtering out voices. They're letting certain people rise up, and then they're censoring a certain group of people who they just disagree with, and guys like Aaron can't really shine that the way that he's supposed to shine, because I found his words very profound outside of all the other youth. And this is, like I said, this is not his channel. This is Florida Boy Jay's channel. Florida Boy had to bring him on here, right? So guys like him, he can't get his own channel. Look how he talks. He can't get his channel. You fucking kidding me? Everything that he just said, it's gonna get censored. It's going to get censored. I've seen, I forgot which Black channel it was. It was a Black male conservative, and he like talks about like your the Second Amendment rights, about it's a Second Amendment type channel where he talks about his Second Amendment rights and guns and whatnot. The amount of subscribers that he has compared to the money that he makes on YouTube, it's clear that he's being censored. It's clear that he's being, every time he drops a video, yellow sign, yellow money sign, not a green money sign. You know what I mean? Because yellow means that they limit your monetization. Green is you're good to go, and the ads can use your videos and all that stuff. But it's clear with that guy and with the amount of engagement and the subscribers that he has, it's clear that he's being censored. It's clear. So that's why I have this stream where, at least where particularly when you're talking about Black Republicans, it's like they can't even say how they feel. And I would like the therapists to even go in on that, but they don't want to talk about that side of the game, where you have a whole group of people that can't even say how they feel, and you're wondering why. Damn, where's all the real men? They can't even say how they feel.
Yeah, that's true.
But I wonder where the therapists are on that. They never seem to address these kind of issues.
Men,
they don't care.
Yeah, they simply don't care. So yeah, that's it on that end.
In place so they can, like, have offspring and like have a structured family or some type of setting. I feel like women are getting the bag and they're moving on like their Black Widow shit. Like, I'll just take kids from a man. Just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll just extract semen from whatever man I deem to be a perfect sperm donor for the kids that I may want aesthetically, or, you know what I'm saying? Just like, and I don't even have to have that, man. I'll have me and my kids for myself, and I'll just run this by myself. It's like women, I feel like, have this agenda, not all women, but just like women who subscribe to a lot of this shit that we're talking about. They want to get their bag, have maybe a kid or two, and just be without men. And men have more.
Don't forget about rubbing it in your face.
Of course. And men have a more traditionalist mindset where it's like, okay, you know, if I get the bag,
they think Superman's coming to save it. They think we're going back to Beaver Cleaver.
Right. Or even certain women who may be the breadwinner of their household, like the way they don't know how. And I understand when people say, well, you know, the man is supposed to be like the head of the household, right? But when it comes to money, it seems like if the woman's making most of the money, she does not allow the man to still be the head of the household because she brings in the more money. But with that, you're not setting a precedent of structure in your household, even if you don't have any kids.
And they're not giving head to the household.
Facts. It's like because you're making more money does not necessarily mean that
these men are in sexless marriages as well. I mean, when that happens, of course, when women make more money.
But it's because women can use all this to their advantage, like the Me Too thing, where you can't even you already knew like you can rape your spouse anyways. But what I'm trying to say is like women restrict.
Take out the R word.
Yeah, women. Women restrict sex from their partners, right? Prostitution, like you said, is not legal. All the Me Too things going around, like you said, men are having like, at least sex as ever because there's no really avenues not only to have sex but to have like consensual safe sex with another consenting partner. And because we don't have legal prostitution, you got these things like OnlyFans or all these paywalls where women are going to sell sex, the fantasy of sex, not have to physically do the duty of sex. And a lot of that money, like what women don't understand is like, yeah, you're making money short term, but like you can make a lot more money if you would do that like physically. And I'm not saying I'm for prostitution or anything like that.
First off, this industry right now, what women are doing to men right now is an absolute crime. I mean, like you're literally getting the most with giving up the least. Right. Like for real, if you're gonna,
the classic case of you can look but you can't touch. You know, that's basically what they're basically running off on in today's age.
If you can't just stick your toe in the water, okay, and then run away from that. Like go full in because they know that when sex becomes as readily and available to men as everything else in this world, especially things that are evil, right? They're going to look at women differently. Like they're going to, and the thing is this, I think some of it even benefits women. You claim that you're tired of thirsty men. You claim that you're tired of the guys.
Starve people and then complain of thirst.
Hey, I'm telling you this
Why
right
are these
now.
guys so hungry?
And the thing about it is, I'm tired of them being thirsty to you too. I'm tired of the guy at the end, the creepy guy at the end of the bar. You can get rid of him too. But also, you know what else we're going to get rid of? Your weekends in Tulum. We're going to get rid of your $300 dates. We're going to get rid of your Cash App and Zelle Me and all that bullshit. That's gone too.
But you know what I have noticed? When I went to Vegas one time, and I seen who was really paying for like prostitutes and everything, they weren't guys who like us. It was like computer tech nerds. It was some dude. It was really like undesirable dudes.
It was guys that are holding this country together. If we lose financially, if we lose our technology brain power, we're done.
But this is my point though. It is a sector of men.
And just to let you guys know, if we do lose our American cybersecurity analysts, these people are coders. These people, but particularly talking about the cybersecurity field, these people in the tech field, and then now if we lose them and we only got the Indians doing that shit for us, we're gonna be in trouble. Trust me, we're gonna be in trouble on that. And that's another sector that is very underrated.
Men that literally have to pay to have sex with women because they do not have these social skills to pull
men who are handicapped, men who are autistic. You know what I'm saying?
So
like
that's what I'm saying. And it needs to be an avenue for like undesirable men to freely get what they neurologically are designed to want and to have. Like you can't try to outlaw sex. You can't try to outlaw, like everything is natural. Everything is, you know, it's your body or the way you feel. Like we can identify as a whole nother race. But when we want to talk about some of the meat potatoes of this human nature, it's a moving of the goalposts.
It is goalpost. And you know what's funny? You want to talk about the community, rainbow community, bro. You know how much they have sex, dude? The average one has like 10,000. Some crazy like that, like 500.
Think that their community is like centered around that.
It is. Like first off, like I said before, we're the ones that are in the closet today. Okay, we're the ones that can't express our sexual wants or sexual needs, but everybody else is free to.
Right.
So everybody's just free to say whatever they want to say about what it is they want. But the minute that I come out and say something, I'm fat phobic, right? Like and think about it. Why are all these phobias and isms designed towards men's sexual needs?
And on top of that, I don't like the word like phobia getting thrown because it's not a fear.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not afraid. I just don't prefer that. Like I don't have a mustard phobia because I don't want mustard on my sandwich.
Mayonnaise phobia,
yeah. Like I just don't prefer mayonnaise.
I think it's disgusting. I mean, like so
we inflate a lot of words to try to put everybody under the same umbrella of like being like prejudice.
Fair use. By the way.
Yeah,
But at the same time, like I said,
because calling people that has power now the minute that doesn't have power, sorry about that. The minute that doesn't have power, the minute that, you know what I call it? I call it crying to the ref. And it's funny because that even from minorities, that's what weakened black people, because the ref started giving you what you want. The ref's not always going to be there.
not only that, what weakened black people was the sexual access to the other side, to white women.
I think so. Huh?
And the reason why I say that, because a lot of these civil rights
men don't have a choice.
What I'm saying is, when it was segregated, like, black men had to be with black women. Like,
this is true.
That's what you had to do. It wasn't a lot of degrading black women, because no matter what spectrum you fell in blackness, that's what you had to do.
Yeah.
But because it was so many Martin Luther Kings or James Browns, guys who were pro-black in public, but was sleeping with Snow in private.
Yeah.
When it was time to go,
and then what's the Harry Belafonte?
Right. They wanted Quincy Jones, like, they wanted to fight for desegregation, not because they want equal opportunity, because if you can have your own restaurant and I can have my own restaurant, we have equal opportunity in some form. In some form.
True. This is true.
Not all the way, but in some form. If we're both, even though we're segregated, by my own movie theaters, restaurants, bus stations, radio stations, there's an equal opportunity aspect there. But once we integrate, you're already integrated with people who own the monopoly board. So you're not really integrating. You're just giving up everything you have to go under the same house.
I never looked at it like that, but that is definitely true.
You feel what I'm saying? So once you do that, and what was the purpose of this? Access to white people. Like, these black men wanted to be with white women and not get lynched for it. Because when you look at the late 60s and early 70s, it was an explosion of this free love and explosion of these biracial couples. And what I'm saying is, that didn't
They made some very attractive women, by the way.
Of course.
We got to get on that.
Of course, but that didn't.
But yeah, that's another thing of the civil rights movement. Or, when we talk about, Virginia versus Loving, the only way that it was going to work in terms of where black people and white people could marry without threat is they had to be able to do it with a white man and a black woman going public and them fighting, the law and the Supreme Court. It was never going to work if it was going to be a black man and white woman. That was never going to that was never going to fly. So that is another thing, with the, especially when we talk about the civil rights movement, that these people, because a lot of them, they actually really liked fornicating with white women. But that's low key was one of the reasons why they were trying to pass the laws that they could, so they could do it. Because if they got caught, a lot of them, if a black dude got caught messing with a white woman, it was going to be a problem. So, that is another underrated aspect of the civil rights movement that a lot of people are not willing to touch. Let me see. If you have any comments here, no comments yet.
Push forward any black movement, like desegregation didn't give anything but sexual access.
Well, free love eliminates the nuclear family, right? It eliminates the need for, literally, like when you look at, we go back to segregation and we look at how much black men were married at that point compared to where they are today. There's definitely a difference with that.
That's a fact. But that's my main thing about when everyone talks about desegregation and what people fought for. Bro, you didn't fight for equal rights because you had a form of that by having your own business. I never looked at it like for that, sexual access.
You definitely make a point with
because
that.
we look at all prominent black men.
What about access to wigs and weaves?
See, now that is a conversation that I feel like during the late 80s and early 90s with the influx of the Asian community and their resources, even in the late 90s.
Do you think weaves are worse than crack? Do you think after the crack epidemic, this was like, okay, boom, we got rid of the crack epidemic, and then they're sitting around drawing. What do we need next? How about bad weaves?
You know what I think? I think weaves and crack, the similarities I see between weaves and crack is that sometimes they get unfairly, black people sometimes get unfairly put as the majority of the users, right?
That's true.
Because I've dated women outside of black, right?
Yeah.
And they buy weaves and wigs and fake lashes.
Dominicans and stuff like that.
Just as much. And I'm sitting here like, damn, or they might put on a headscarf at night too. And it's like, damn, bitch, like, the fuck is you doing?
I mean, a headscarf, we wear do-rags. So, there is that. So,
right. But I think one thing that we're talking about too is the extensions and hair that's naturally already your grade.
Yeah.
And putting on a whole wig when your hair grows like mine, right?
Bro, I never knew. So this
or the tracks, or when we see like the tracks, like the lines.
I never knew what was under them wig. I never knew that when I saw a woman with a wig, right? And I probably need one right now with this. Bro, I never knew that there's a full stocking cap under that.
With the AI braids.
Oh my God. So like I said before on Clubhouse, so you go to sleep at night looking like a cat burglar.
God damn.
So think about how hot it is under there. Like think about a hot.
Damn. So Everything he's saying is also correct. I've lived with women. I'm not gonna tell you if I'm living with one now, but I'm just telling you, yes. So they literally, it's a lot of layers to, it's a lot. There's a lot of layers to what the average, even just like the average. A lot of the reasons why people always complain about women don't want to have sex with their husbands, but I always say this: probably one of the worst times to ask for sex from your wife is at night, is because they have all that stuff on. They got all this stuff to basically prepare them for tomorrow morning. So that's probably a lot of the times. I'm not going to say most times. A lot of the times it's actually suicide to ask a girl at night, especially you're talking about a black woman, but like just really women in general, for like say if you're living with if you're cohabitating with a girl, or if you're living with your wife, probably the worst thing that you could do is to ask for fun time during night, at like right at night, where she's already got her stuff on, she's got her creams on, she's got her stocking cap on for her like a lot of the times that's probably not the best time to ask her for that, because she's already kind of got her things on. You might be lucky in terms of, sometimes you might actually have a better chance, like in the morning or in the middle of the day than at night. And so that's kind of how that works too. That's just for the people that don't have that much experience with a woman, or if they haven't lived with a woman, or they haven't cohabitated with a woman. So yeah, that has to be put out there.
Day, you're walking around with a Scott. You might as well go rob a bank after that. You just pull the stocking cap from under the weave over your face.
Yeah, it's a stocking. It's
like when you set it off
with the stocking cap, and then you put the whatever shit they put around that shit. Then you put the wig on top of that shit, and the glue and all that other things. And my thing sometimes is like, for what? Like, for what? How do we go from frozen?
So there's glue under there too.
Yeah, sometimes it can get under.
It's like a whole arts and crafts project.
It can get under scalp, and people have died from infections from weaves and wigs. And my thing too, sometimes I think about how far black people have got from like Black Pride to where you had your afros, you had your natural hairstyles.
Remember Free from 106 in Park?
Yeah, she was fine.
Yeah.
But you don't see women. I mean, you do see.
And then on top of that, if you are with a woman, or if you have lived with a woman that does rock her natural hair, it's a lot of maintenance behind that. So you have to be sensitive about that as well. Those are for the people that, if I have a black woman, I want her to rock her natural hair. Now there's a lot of maintenance that goes with that. I'm just letting you guys know there's a lot of maintenance, with that. Like I have experience with that. There's a lot of maintenance with that. So sometimes you do have to be, you gotta be careful what you ask for on that end. And as a man, you better have the money to help her with her hair fees on that end, especially if she is rocking it natural. That could, a lot of times that could take a lot of work, especially if because there are women that do rock it natural, but they're still using certain chemicals that they really shouldn't be putting in their hair. So now the more knowledgeable women, I know, like certain women, I know they'll make their own oils. You know what I mean? They'll have their own kind of recipe or their own kind of ingredients in terms of making a certain type of hair gel or hair oils to keep their natural hair moisturized. But there's a lot that goes into that. There's a lot. I'm telling you, there's a lot that goes into that. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes a lot of work. So if you do meet a woman that is natural, that it's not going to be what you think. Is going to be a lot of maintenance that goes behind that.
You see someone rocking their natural hair, which I do love, but I don't like when they walk around like the blue wigs, like the yellow wigs, like the Power Ranger color wigs. Like, that's just not my type. It's not my style, bro. Like,
I think you know what I think it's like? I think the wig changes. Like, I think it's like it's like Venom. The movie
like
Venom. It's like when the wig is Venom. When they put it on, it changes them into something. You know what I mean?
I agree. I agree. It's a whole new character that they put on. They put on a wig. But what I do see too is these guys like with whole receding hairlines.
Oh my God.
Like the whole wig industry now is. But that's the blurred lines of masculinity.
And all that stuff.
But see, that's a blurred line of masculinity sometimes, where it's like, okay, I understood people wore toupees like 20 years, like all time, like dudes wear like fake hair, right? But what I'm saying is a blurred line of masculinity where like you see dudes getting like tummy tucks and fake abs, or like they're going around getting like fake hair extensions and shit, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like one day they'll have like a Kodak like fade next to they have like big ass dress like me, and it's like masculine men don't feel that subconscious to like put hair extensions in.
The only thing I've ever
get,
considered
like, fake
doing
abs.
is like, I understand men who take steroids, right?
Yeah, I understand.
I understand that, but like, you know, even all these things have a long-term effect. Like the woman I saw last night at the gas station was gorgeous. Like she's telling people about her BBL.
Right.
You're not just washing that off out the shower. Okay, that's permanently attached to you. Okay, and so
BBL culture, that's another epidemic that's going on.
That's the new crack.
And the reason why I don't like it, I like it, but
I like it
said,
too,
where there's a culture, there's a counter. Where you have, the like button was here to be inspirational and is kill people, right?
Yeah.
So like, there's things that have been brought to the earth that have meant to do good.
Fair use. Let me check the comment section. Young Doka says he has a point, but as far as pointing down, putting the other gender, women were the ones who would publicly shame black men for going to the other side. So then men started shaming back. Well, the thing is, it's just unfortunate because I really don't care either way. Maybe it's because the state I was raised in. So like I would literally see black women, white man, white women, black men all the time. But it's I always say this, it's really harder when it's black men dating outside their race, just in general. And it's not just from black women. It's not, I'm telling you, it's not just from black women. So I'll give you an example. Like I knew there was when I was in Trumbull. Oh shit! I mean, when I was at these spots, and so when I've been at these spots, I knew a dude where he was going out with this Asian chick, right? And when he went to the theaters that day, him and his Asian chick caught a lot of stick. So I'm talking about you. It was all types of white dudes calling them all types of names, doing all types of stuff to him. And so it's like black men get heavily dick policed. Like for some weird reason, like that, like when people talk about the dick police, and it's not just, I'm telling you, it's not just black women. Like black men just get heavily dick policed. So everywhere, it seems like everywhere black men go, there's always like there's always going to be somebody. There's always going to be somebody there like, hey, where are you putting your penis? Oh no, I'm just here to play soccer. Don't worry about me. I'm just I'm just here to play soccer. The most I'm going to get is probably some groupie bitches from here. Oh, okay. Never mind. And it's just like, they're always thinking that we finna fuck their daughters. We always gonna fuck their wives and all this shit. So it's always that weird tension of, oh, you gonna mess with somebody I know. So black men get really heavily dick policed just in general by the world, in my opinion, not just black women. And on top of that, black women, of course, are going to heavily dick police because they're usually last in terms of being chose. Unfortunately,
on top of that,
just in general. So I kind of expect it's kind of fucked up that I think this way, because I've had to learn to have some sympathy, because I didn't know that black women were I didn't even know that it was possible, but they're like the least likely to get married, but at the same time most likely to get divorced. I don't know how that is. I don't even know how that's possible.
yeah.
If you're the least likely to get picked, but most likely to get divorced. That's, to me, it's laugh worthy. It's laughably impossible. But BW still managed to find a way out of no way to make it happen. So because that stat exists, they're always worried about not just their plan A. Of course, they're worried about where their plan B guys are going. We're talking about the passport Rose and all. They're always going to be worried because they're always going to need help. This is why they, in their mind, they're like, I can't depend on a man. It's because they can't even get chose in the first place. That's why you. That's why I always kind of give the BWs grace, because they always say, "Oh, I don't need no man," and I don't need. Well, it's because they can't really get one in the first place for the most part. And if they do, it's somebody that they're probably going to have to take care of. So that's why I usually kind of give the BWs grace, because a lot of the stuff that they've come up with, it's really cope, and it's unfortunate. I'm not laughing at it, but it's interesting how you can be the least picked, but then the least the more you're more likely to be discarded. Now, is that self-hate? Is that really all self-hate on the man's part? I don't believe so. But like I said, at the same time, you can't correct BWs. They do no wrong in their eyes. So it is what it is. I can't change. I can't change that. So that's why a lot of times I give the BWs grace, because I already know they already have a hard time getting chose, but especially they have a hard time getting chose by people that are serious. And the guys that would actually give them a chance, they'll brag about not giving them a chance. Like they'll brag about, oh, I was engaged. You remember like how the BWs would be on Kevin Samuels, even though they'd be lying a lot of the times, but it'd be like, I was engaged 3 times, and you're just like, so, and you're still not married. So either you're stupid, or it's either you're stupid to turn down 3 engagements, or those guys that asked to marry you, they were like at a level that they were just like, they were bums. they had to be bums, or they definitely didn't have no real money, or they definitely didn't have no status about them. If you turn down all 3 of those guys' proposals, and 2 things can be true. you could be both. You could be stupid and those guys were bums. So, let me see. Young Doka says free love didn't eliminate the nuclear family. Feminism and alphabet community did. Is he saying you can't have a mixed race nuclear? Nah, I think he's just making a point. I think Florida Boy J was making a point, because the Florida Boy J I knows especially nowadays. I've seen some of the videos he's made. He's very pro, if you're a black man, please date outside your race, especially nowadays. The videos I've seen of him lately, he's like, nah, fuck this, date outside your like he's given up on BWs. So he was just making a point. He was just making a point in terms of, because during that time, he's saying that was like, during that time is because black people, we were all that we had. We didn't have a choice of, oh, let me marry this Armenian chick, let me marry this Italian chick. Ninjas didn't. If ninjas were ever in position of that, he really had to really like that girl, like seriously. In terms of like a guy, like a black dude couldn't be caught. Like you see how we have like quote unquote situationships or side chicks or flings. Black dudes back then, they couldn't be caught with a fling with a white girl. He had to be like, if he was really putting his life on the line for a broad like that, he had to be marrying her. Like it had to be. Ain't no such thing as being caught with a fling with a ninja back then, or he'd get lynched. Oh, let me see. Gary Grant said facts. Gary Grant said, did anyone else find it weird that Amber Rose at the RNC? No, she's a clout chaser. That's her profession, man. That is her profession, man. That's what she is. Let me see if I can let me look up that
yeah, I saw the big old tattoo on that lady's head. Yeah, I know. I know this broad. Like, why is she even here?
Like Amber, she is what she is. There's nothing we can do. It ain't. Let me see. It ain't easy. Full movie. Let me see if I can find that movie. This movie right here. Let me see. I don't know if I could find the scene. There's a scene in this pimping movie that I like. It was hilarious. I don't know if it's still there. Let me see. Oh, it's still here.
Daddy.
I remember watching this movie as a kid. Let me see if I can find that movie with Tank and let me see if I can find that scene, man, with Tank in the when Tank was playing the dirty cop. Oh man, I gotta find that scene when Tank and that other actor that I know was playing that dirty cop, and it was in the alleyway with that bitch. Oh man, that joke was hilarious, man. He was like, "Son, this is your profession." I gotta find that scene. That's one of the funniest things I've ever seen Tank do. This this movie is it's a low budget film, but it had literally all the stars on there. It's a classic film. I don't know. Is that too late? It might be too late. It might be too late. Oh man, I wish I could find that scene. That joint was hilarious. When he came through. Is that it?
Motherfucker, shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, that's it. This is the scene right here. This is the scene right here. Oh man, I love this scene.
On 55th, behind the laundromat. I'm on my way, homie. Stay in the cut till I hit you,
Hey, get out the car, bitch.
Fuck you, nigga. Shut the fuck up.
I say get the fuck out
Yeah,
the car.
fuck you. Don't fucking talk to me. Fuck you. Get your fucking hand. Fuck off me, nigga. Shit.
Yeah, I bet you get out the car now.
Yeah, fuck you.
Shut up, bitch.
You shut up, nigga. Don't fucking talk to me.
Like she ain't never done a double up before.
Hey, oh no, nasty ass cops.
Come on. Man.
Fair use.
Fuck y'all.
Since you won't give us no info on your
me.
faggot ass
Off
pants,
me.
we figured maybe you give us some head.
Yeah, whatever,
How about
nigga.
that?
Fuck you.
Let's do that. Let's do that.
The fuck is that? Nigga, I don't do kids.
You looking at me?
Shut the fuck up. Fuck you. What do you think fucking shooting me is gonna make your dick grow bigger?
Bitch, I'm not
Nigga,
playing
and I
with
ain't
you.
playing with you either.
It's this dick. That's your profession, bitch. I'm not
Now, just to let you go, no, guys, no, nothing happened. Those
And
cops
I ain't
ended
playing
up.
with you either. Fuck you.
The cops ended up getting beat up. They ended the pimp came out of nowhere, and then the cops got beat up by his goons. But that scene, that had me crying, laughing. He said, "This is your profession." This is the same R&B, mind you. Tank is the same R&B star that had that song. What's it? Isn't Tank the same R&B star that said that maybe I deserve song? Anyway, that's a side point. But anyway, you guys, please watch this film. This is one of the best films I've ever seen. One of the best low budget films I've ever seen. Oh yeah, Cat Williams is in there. What's it in the Pimps Award show? Oh my god, this movie is freaking legendary. Yeah, Cat Williams is in there.
This award came up with the concept of the evening and whatnot. There was no doubt they was talking about cold pimping like myself. Got that? Memphis Slim, baby.
I'm just gonna let the mic stand there.
Yeah.
Just gonna walk. Individuals managing pussy, pimp, possessor of intellectual mind power. It's time for us to do our award part of the ceremony. Before I begin, let me say how honored I am to be here as a mere civilian in the presence of so much pimpery. Now, in the beginning, if you will remember, God created the earth and he put on this earth Adam and Eve. Now, Adam was entrusted with the directive to make sure that no one touched the fruit of good and bad. Now, because Adam was a square, he allowed the bitch to make him go against what God told him to do. Since that time, there's been a conglomerate.
Yo, man, I love that film so much. I watched that like when I was a kid, like when I was a freaking kid. Oh man, that was crazy. Anyways,
good. And there's always a duality to everything. So when I say that with the BBL, right? to me, someone who already kind of have a figure, already has something to work with, and then you're just getting a butt lift, you're getting some fats like that. Like you're already kind of there. You kind of need the extra, which is cool. But what I have seen is box shaped built bitches putting $10,000 in her body, and now they're built like an ant, or it's been a bitch who's been fat all her life, and now she got the fat sucked out of one area and put to another, and now they're completely different people. And it's like the dudes that are dating these women, their body structure isn't built like that. That's one thing people got to know. Like your body structure, like where your genes go, is
yeah, Gary. I might have to do a review on that film. That film Loki had a lot of RP gems. Like that film in general, Loki had a lot of RP gems, man. Let me is there another nah, I can't not off the top not off the top of the oh yeah, TK Kirkland was in there. Goldie Mack was in there. Clifton Powell was in there. Oh man, it was a star-studded Megan Good was in there as one of the the prostitutes. Man, yeah, it was a lot. That was a star. Michael Rappaport is in that movie. Yeah, it was like a star. It's one of those old star-studded films, but it was like a low budget film, you know. So yeah, I might have to do a review on that movie. That movie was awesome.
Hereditary. Like if you're built like a upside down triangle, right? Your kids are going to be built like an upside down triangle. Like you know when girls are like coming up,
I'm naturally lean. I don't have like any fat people like in my bloodline.
Right. Or
and I don't eat a lot of either. I eat maybe once or twice a day.
Right. Or some girls like big titties is like hereditary, like a fat ass.
It is. I gotta be that is a man, I gotta be honest, bro. Like, oh God, we're gonna get to talk about this. Dude, when that's hereditary, that's amazing. Like that, bro, because I didn't see dude, yeah, it's like a blessing. And then you got
so let me speed pass through this stuff. I might have to I'm gonna speed pass through a lot of this talk. I just want to get to just the important parts.
Funny about it is like the main ones that be having the hereditary, they be cutting them off. But you know what, bro? Like there's a girl on Instagram right now, like that's guy, like, and she's like 20 years old, 22 or something like that. It's like you're blessed. People might not agree with what I have to say, but the shots, bro, the way you used to roast people, bro, like.
Okay, so let's put it there. Let's play it from here.
That shit would be hilarious, dog. Like niggas would come on there and it would start like just off your voice alone. Anything would be like an easy cook. And you start flaming their profile pictures, bro. And like you'll see somebody else trying to call them like, then it's like 4 people argue with you. And you just sit here like going in like a single file line, like just
I literally just got done roasting people at CPAC, bro. Like literally, there was a guy. So literally, there was a group of atheists there, bro. And bro, there was an atheist guy there with a Now, mind you, it's hot in Orlando today.
Yeah, it's like
there's an atheist guy with a jacket, a tie, and one of those little vests or whatever. I asked him, bro, where's your fedora hat and your Tommy gun? Like, are you trying to resurrect Al Capone? Like roasting him. Then you had like so literally like, and then we just started roasting. There's atheists and all that. So Tommy isn't here, but we got on them, and he had to get me off because like the moms of Loudoun County came, and I had my back and forth with them, about how they.
Oh yeah, and there are groups of, because the conservatives now, they have like strange like little packs within the conservatives group. Like you do have groups of self-proclaimed atheist conservatives. Now, I only came across those terms in 2014. Either 2014 or 2015. It was one of the years, either 2014 or 2015, where I finally came across the term a self-proclaimed atheist conservative. Now, I know of a person of that ilk now, but he was a black man. So that was crazy to me. I'm like, bro, you trying to like not get no hoes. I'm like, at all. This is a black. I'll talk about. There was a dude I knew who, I don't know if Ainsley's in the chat because he was there at the time. Sorry, it was a dude we was working with. This guy wasn't a black. This was a black dude, young kid, black dude. He was a open atheist and conservative and pro-Trump and all that. Like I was like, so I'm like, wow, you have the freaking trifecta of wow. I'm like, wow. There's no way. If you're even one of these in the black community, you're fucked. You're fucked. If you're an atheist, you're
on top of that.
And yep, yeah. I was like, wow. I had to salute him. Like I really like I knew I knew he would have trouble at work and stuff like that, and he would, he wasn't the easiest person to work with, or sometimes he would do things, but I had to salute him just off of him being who he was, because I'm like, that's not easy. If you are a black man and you're an atheist and you're an open Republican, that's wow. You might have a better chance of just being an open Republican than being just a black atheist. And he was both. I was like, oh fuck that. This guy is wild. You know what I mean? That guy, he don't give a fuck about what nobody thinks. And I know for a fact, if he's even getting a black woman, it's like she can't even tell her friends about him.
Yeah.
Or it's like, yeah, there's no way she would have to keep him a secret. And the only way she would be able to pass it off is if she got caught with him, is to be like, oh, it's because of how he looked. That's the only way she could pass that off. If she put him out there, was like, oh, this guy is an atheist and a conservative, not only would that mess her up, that would mess him up. That would mess up his whoever his parents were. His parents would get embarrassed. Like I said, most people don't have the balls to be like, because I remember, like, only me that I know of that was really like all up in the church, and I was like, I have questions. I was the only person that did something like that. That doesn't mean I'm a atheist. I just had questions on a lot of these things, but just me asking the questions, they were on me like flies on shit. They're just like, whoa, what do you mean by this? And you're just like, oh shit, okay. I was like, I'm gonna leave that alone then. It's like I'm gonna leave that alone. I was like, I was a junior in high school during that time when I did that. I will never do that shit again. That's why I don't even be. But just in general, I don't even think, if you're a real man, if you're a real man, you can't be in church. That's just, to me, that's in my opinion, you cannot be in church if you're a real man in 2024. Not what they got going on in there. No, absolutely not.
In Jamaica, you see over in America that cannot go on over in Jamaica.
Like the endless faggotry that's in the church, and the single mammy stuff, the single mammy ministry, no, like what's going on, like there's probably only there's only a few preachers I respect, and I already did my list. Let me see, do I have that list? I wish I had. I hope I still have that list of the preachers that I like, but I know one of them is it's Pastor Martin Sempa, right? The pastor, and the Ugandan pastor, right? That guy, David Manning, and Pastor Cedric Hatcher, and honorable mentions Rev X, right? So those are the only pastors, especially Geno Jennings. I respect him, so that's probably one of the few Christian pastors that I respect. Everybody else I have questions. Everybody else I got I'm like, I don't know, and obviously like I said, I like the TV preachers, they have their sound bites,
Swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming?
No, man. First of all, let me bring that up. Because
that's the most gayest shit I ever heard. Like,
that's like it's crazy. Let me see.
And the way he's saying, I would.
Like that. First of all, that whole speech that whole speech was suspect.
Closet and stop keeping a secret and let the world know if it had not been for the Lord that was on my side.
Pause.
I would have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed up? Have you gone through a time of swallowing where everything was overwhelming and you were at your wit's end? That is my point of view.
And that chuckle he did at the end, I'm like, this nigga evil, yo. He's evil. I was like, this dude is guilty of whatever they're saying. I'm not saying TD Jakes took advantage of anybody. No, he didn't take, but he's a full participant in the swallowing that that he participated. He was a participant in that, that nonsense. But this comment here, it says, saying come out of the closet and then going on to say, have you ever been swallowed up? Have you ever been through a time of swallowing in the most zesty way possible is diabolical work. Yes. That's just wild, man. That's crazy. I would have been. That's wild, man. That is wild, man. Oh man, that's
and like whatever he's wearing, like, wasn't helping.
Yeah, he got a purple muumuu on. Hold on, let me see if I can get a better picture.
Have been swallowed up. Have you ever been swallowed?
Yeah, whatever he's wearing here, that's crazy. What it just makes it him look so much worse. He got a purple muumuu on, and he's just and then prancing around. It just makes it look, way worse. Yikes! Yeah, that is just when you talk about optics, it just makes it look really bad.
Yeah.
Apparently think that our children are going to get along with black people. Yeah, there's a reason why your kids are in Loudoun County and not in Richmond,
right,
or in Norfolk,
not on Mercy Drive.
Exactly. So I'm trying to figure out what it is. This work, like I said, don't try to moonwalk out of the street fight. Okay, we're already here. The BLM people have already called. They did what they wanted. They took money from all these big corporations, burned everything down.
Do you feel like there's being an attempted infiltration inside the Republican Party?
Ooh, that's a good thing. That's a good question.
What you're subscribing?
That's a good question.
I feel like the Republican Party has taken a all lives matter.
My God,
they took an all Republicans matter approach to broaden the horizon because they kind of
disaster. They're trying to win people over. I don't want to win. Listen, first off, you have to renovate before you innovate. You have to get your own people.
You feel like they're not. You feel like Republicans aren't trying to stay down for like a few elections to like really find their true core, really get their battle cry, really get their.
No, they don't want to fight. They don't want to fight. They're weak.
Coming out the depths.
Well, I mean, Trump is speaking right now. They don't want to fight, man. They're like, but the thing is, those kids at AFPAC, that AFPAC event last night, they're down with it. And all of them have been kicked out of CPAC because their opinions were too radical. Because one dude.
And just to let you know, and I think I might end this video. Not the stream. Just off this video off here. The stream is still going to continue, but what a lot of people get wrong about they always want to generalize the quote unquote MAGA crowd, right? As oh, they're just a bunch of white angry white kids. No, it's kids of many different races. These are the people that you might want to call misfits or outcasted or guys that never got a chance at anything. Yeah, and these are people of different backgrounds. Even if it is mostly Caucasian dudes, these are dudes that are people that society has forgotten about. These are men that have been told we don't need you. These are the people that are the primary base, especially young men. these are the primary base of the MAGA crowd. So that's a lot. That's one thing that people do get wrong, and it's not just like I said. These are the people that I'm talking about of all backgrounds, of all races. These are the dudes that have been told we don't need you. So this is what makes that crew of men like they gravitate towards a Trump. They easily, especially now, where basically now he's like Jesus Christ now in terms of he turned his head and avoided a whole head parting. Now they're willing to what? So now you got these group of dudes that have been told we don't need you. They gravitate towards a guy that is actually way more inclusive than people give him credit for. Trump is actually very inclusive in terms of his fan base, and who he actually how he carries himself is actually very relatable to guys like that, guys that have been told that they are not needed. So now you got a guy like that, and now he's basically on Jesus Christ. Like I call it, I don't even want to say Jesus Christ. I want to say 50 Cent mode, where now it's like he's unstoppable. Because with 50 Cent, he got shot 9 times and he survived. So you can't. So now nobody can tell him nothing. Nobody can tell him anything. And 50 Cent got people that are just that are loyal to him because he has that aura about him now of almost of enlightenment, where it's like, damn, this dude was literally death knocked at his door and he was just like, not yet. So guys like that. So now Trump is at that level now where it's like, so now his fan base, people thought, oh, these are a crazy a bunch of. Now I'll say this, they're willing to die, especially now, especially seeing the response that he got at RNC. They're willing to really be like in terms of a soldier for Orange Man, in terms of they're really willing to put it on the line. So they're like, I say, like if something happens to where if Orange Man is in trouble, I think that the average MAGA fan, they're willing to just jump in front of the bullet for him so he doesn't take that bullet. I think they're really rallied around him, and it's not a one group of people. It's not it's just these white kids, or no. It's like it's dudes of particularly men of different races. These are men that have been told that they're not needed. These are men that have been told that, oh, they're wrong about everything. So if you telling men, particularly men, if basically anything that they express, anything that they say, oh, they're wrong, we don't, and then at the same time we don't want to hear you. Yeah, you're a straight cis man. So you don't really matter. So you don't really matter. Your opinion doesn't matter. You're a straight cis man. All that. What do you think is going to happen to that guy? He's going to like Aaron was saying earlier on. If you are a man and you're a liberal, you're not a man. Not in 2024. There's only one way for you to go. There's only one message you're going to gravitate to. So that's what it is. And like I said, it's not, people keep saying, oh, it's just these white, it's not just, it's dudes of all different backgrounds that are like really they revere Trump. Yes. Different backgrounds. I've been trying to tell people this for a while. It's not just one group, trust me, because it's a lot of brown people, there's a lot of black people, whatever. They get that same treatment, even worse. This is why we made that all black Republicans matter thing, where it's just anything that they say is because they have an alternative thinking point. They're always told, oh, what you say don't matter, or we not trying to hear what you say, you're a sellout, you're Uncle Tom. So because there's a space now. Sorry for cutting you off. I was saying about
the reason why they say like black men are sellout is because by default in their heads, like like being left wing is the right move for every black person, and they benefit from it. That's what I think.
Shout out to Young Doka. He spot that bar that Aaron said. He said, "You got to renovate before you innovate." That is facts. Yeah, I caught that bar too. Truth Hunter says it's like they forgot the old Latinos for Trump stuff. Exactly. That like most of the Latinos I know, they're basically pro Trump. So they just always want to paint it as we got to be wary of these scary straight cis white men. They want to control the country. No. You just you're just like, I'm like, oh, you clearly don't know what Trump's real, like his fan base, his demographic of fan base is, I'm like, you guys have zero clue, because I know a lot of dudes. So everything that's Aaron saying, it might be seem as extreme, but there's a lot of dudes I know that feel that way. And then if you like I say, if you keep telling the average dude, oh, your opinion doesn't matter, and eventually he's just gonna come being like, you know what? Why am I even holding back? What's the point of me holding back if I'm still gonna get treated like this? And here you have a guy like Orange Man who comes in very unapologetic, says what he feels, says what he means, mean what he says, stands on what he says, especially in the debates. It'd be funny, like those debates be funny as hell. They'll be they'll be like he's like, I can't even believe this chick even put this accusation on me. I wouldn't even fuck a chick like that. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but that's what I remember. He says something like that. He said, I done mess with colder hoes like this, and this hole tried to put this case on me. So he'll say stuff like that actually resonates with what men really think, and it's and that's why I believe he's actually more. He's at his talking points are more inclusive than people give him credit for.
Got into an argument with a drag queen. So you let the drag queen say you kicked him out. Then you invited, so you kicked out like Alex Jones or whatever, all these other people. I think they kicked out Milo, all these other people. But yet you have Van Jones. CPAC embraced Van Jones.
Why? Van Jones is a Democrat.
I don't know why. That's what I'm talking about. They're trying to kiss the other side's ass so they won't beat them harder. Van Jones is not just a Democrat. Van Jones is a fucking clown. Okay, or even for the Democratic side, he's a fucking joke.
He cries on TV on cue. He gets paid to cry on TV, and that's one thing.
And that's what I'm saying. So you stab Trump in the back. You crying. You killer's a bully. Don't be a bigot. Say your prayers. And then Trump sat down with you. You shaking his hand for the criminal justice thing. He heard you out.
Right.
He's better than to be a parent. A year later, all these people stabbed him in the back, bro. All these people stabbed him in the back.
And what do you think about what's going on right now in Ukraine and Russia, and like America's response to?
Would you?
I might have to be careful about this subject.
Would you try America? Yes. I mean, bro, like, come on, man. Like, brother, Russians were waiting for this.
You feel like
you have a transgender admiral Navy. Transgender admiral. Yes, I would try you.
So you feel like, because I think they let NATO go in and, like, I guess
I haven't looked at it recently. I mean, I'm not even like,
dude, you don't think America's really like, we're gonna go to war, right?
Bro, no.
Like, we're gonna fight. Because if one America,
first off, we don't need to though. Like, this is what I'm saying. This isn't any of our business. We need to.
China says we're already meddling in like
I wish
Russia's business.
Are we good meddlers? Because we just got ran out of Afghanistan.
Unless we had no business being in the first place.
Like, the thing is this, we got to get our own house in order first. We shouldn't be going messing with other people's stuff.
Right.
Like, seriously. Shouldn't be in other people's business right now.
And I think, honestly, what's going on in Ukraine, like, yeah, that's happening. But just like you said, it has nothing to do with us. And what has the Ukraine's government or their people ever done first? Like, last time I checked, they were saying they still some people over there still subscribe to neo-Nazism. So on some real shit, like, why are we sending money to the Ukraine to fight Russia? Why don't we?
It's always been, for me, in my and maybe I look too much at race on that end, but I always found it completely ironic where you'll have like the where basically the left were trying to force people that like they were trying to force black people to like really support that Ukraine cause, but I'm like, Ukraine, they're very racist. Like like really, like I'm talking about to the point where when they had the European Championships in 2012, the summer of 2012, do you know England players, because a lot of the England players have, you know, they'll have like one black parent and another white parent, whatever. Most of their parents could not come and their families couldn't sit together because of the environment of Poland and Ukraine during that time. So like Ukraine is very notorious for racially abusing their soccer players in their professional soccer leagues and all this stuff, and they're known for all the stuff, how they treat Africans, but yet they were trying to include like the Black Lesbians Matter into their cause. So I found that very ironic. I'm like, you want me to support who? I was like, first of all, that's none of my business. Second of all, I'm like, Ukraine? I'm like anybody else but them, because I didn't seen them do some dastardly things to ninjas, like just in general. So I'm like, nah. just
come burn at the bottom of hell if all I care.
Yeah, like literally. So no disrespect to that country, but like I saw the stuff that you did to a lot of Negro soccer players over there, bro. Like I saw that stuff. So like it's kind of hard for me to be like, okay, I support you fully, because like you'll see like a black power fist right next to the Ukraine flag. I'm like, I ain't rocking with that. No disrespect, you know. I know some cool dudes that are Ukrainian, right, that live in America, but it's like, in terms of that country, I'm not gonna go out of my way to support that. And then on top of that, NATO brought that shit on themselves. That's just my opinion, especially with Biden always threatening to expand. And I was like, what the hell you think was gonna happen? It's right on the fucking border. Oh my God. I don't know why people can't think. Anyways, it just kills me. All right. It says only reason they're wanting us to support them is because of Sleepy Joe and Hunter. Oh yeah, and yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah, I heard like Hunter likes to hunt that white powder.
Yeah, that's another. We'll just leave that alone, because it's interesting. People, like, it was like news stations, they wasn't even allowed to cover that story, even though it's the most obvious story to cover. So it just already shows you what's being pushed and what's not being pushed. Let me see.
We should be building up America from within, bro. Like,
send money. Like I said, I've been to Orlando. It's all these people here from all these other countries. I just got back from Colombia. You know how much money we give to Colombia? And you take that money, you immigrate over here. Like, and then when, let's say America turns into Ukraine, right, how many people are going to stay? They're all going to leave and go back to their countries where they came from. America doesn't put its people first. The American government right now, our current administration, does not care about the people. It only cares about some people. But my issue is this. They're doing what they said they were going to do. Biden is not doing anything he didn't say he was going to do. My thing is when we get the ball back, because Biden's fumbled this, we're going to win the next election. We're going to destroy these people in the midterm. I don't want no half-stepping the next time.
My big question is, who do you think is going to be the Republican elect?
I don't know, man. I think our part.
So remember, guys, this video came out in 2022. This came out in 2022.
I think from what I see with the CPAC and APAC stuff, everybody needs to clean their own house. I want to clean house of these people who are claiming to be conservatives, but you're championing atheism. That's not conservative. You're championing single motherhood. That's not conservative.
Like, what's the face? Who?
Shout out to Aaron here.
Yeah, I agree.
Like the same conservatives that a lot of people like to put up in the air, the the Andrew Wilsons of the world, champion like him marrying a single mother himself. Like it's just like this is the stuff that's being allowed in these so-called conservative spaces, and you're just like, I'm like, what are you guys doing? What are you like? Wow.
Who is the face?
Right now, I like Trump, but I'm telling you, you got to look in the AFPAC. You got to look into Nick Fuentes. Bro, Nick Fuentes had everybody, all of these people, like some of the people from InfoWars. He had Jesse.
Right.
He had a couple congressmen, Marjorie Taylor Greene, all these people, right? And Marjorie Taylor Greene has had all of her committee assignments stripped from her. Paul Gosar, the same thing. My problem with Republicans is you won't do the same thing to Democrats. You won't fight as hard as they fight you. Right. And that's my problem. But I'm telling you, that AFPAC stuff I saw last night, that is the future of the Republican Party. This CPAC stuff, they're fake, man. They're controlled. Like, think about it.
All Republicans Matter conference. That's what it was.
Dude, think about it. Think about it. What should the Republican rallying cry be right now? Think about Trump. After Trump's second year, right? What was the Democrats' rallying cry? Impeach Trump. How many Republicans you see trying to impeach Biden? Because you ain't got no heart. You ain't trying to fight. Dude, the Democrats didn't even need to succeed in doing it. They still went out and tried.
All 4 years. And even when they got the little paper signed, it's like he really got impeached, even though like document, you know what I'm saying?
They tried it twice. And we're not trying to fight because we want to be, it's vanity. We want other people, we want the Democrats to like us. We don't want people to say, oh, you're going too far.
But see, one thing that's funny to me.
And then on top of that, a lot of women are liberals. So they're not really trying to, they're not really trying to push that envelope.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, they're waiting for a lot, because what ends up happening is a lot of the feminazis, they end up turning, particularly Caucasian feminists, they end up turning into conservatives later on in life. Like they end up now, what ends up happening with a lot of BWs, they end up just staying as a libtard for life. You know what I mean? So that's not really who they're waiting for. So there's a lot of the spirit of simpery going along with that. So that's another part of the discussion.
Me, it's just how certain narratives get switched depending on who's saying it. We have more evidence that this election was tampered with than the Trump election, but yet everybody swept them up on the rug because it was who you wanted to win.
Okay. All right. Another question about Russia. Who has been running their mouth on Russia the last 4 years? Who has been on you think they wasn't going to try us? You've been calling Putin out.
Yeah.
These Democrats, you've been calling him out. You've been calling his name for the last 4 years. Yeah. Oh, Russia did this and Russia got Trump in. Biden, you specifically called him out. So it's like, okay. Yeah. So now he tried you. He tried you. So now what you going to do? Exactly. He tried you. Think about Russia. Imagine I'm sitting there and you telling me I rigged your election? Nobody had nothing to do with that.
And then also,
like this is the stuff that drives me insane, because then because the problem with the media, they always need a boogeyman to blame stuff on, and then they get shocked when the person that they accused fights back in any way. Then they're just like, oh, I cannot believe this happened. I'm like, you destroyed this guy's name. You put stuff on his name which wasn't even true, and you think there's not going to be no blowback for that? Like I said, I'd be surprised with people sometimes too.
It's funny with the vaccine mandate when Trump was in office, and I don't know, we're not even gonna, because I know you two can like go crazy. But it was just funny when Trump was in office, they were already saying like, oh no, we don't want to take any vaccine he endorses, or we don't want to take any medicine he endorses. Then when they get in office, they're like really pushing on everybody. Bro. One thing that I really love about being from the state of Florida, bro, like Ron DeSantis did not give a damn about any vaccine mandates, you got to be vaccinated to work. Like literally the whole time the pandemic's been going on, bro, Florida's just been wide open. We've been chilling, we're going to the clubs, we've been socializing. Like it's been no pandemic. Like, yeah, we might wear a mask at certain events, but like we've really been chilling. If you catch COVID, sit your ass down for like 2 weeks and bring it.
No, now it's 5 days. Now it's 5 days.
But what I'm saying, I know people who caught COVID multiple times, vaccinated or not. Like honestly, bro, that's one thing where if you want to give me one reason why I back Ron DeSantis, is because he really was the only motherfucker pushing up against the vax.
But the thing is this, I think all the companies that forced it, I think they should all pay a fine. And I think Ron DeSantis had that. That's what I'm saying. Some of these companies, I feel like the companies have done more to oppress a lot of the American people than the government has. Like, so my thing is this.
Companies run politicians.
Why not impose a BLM tax? Oh, so you gave money to bail people out of jail when they were destroying people's businesses? Okay, let me get a list of these companies and we're going to impose a tax on you for doing that. But the Republicans they don't want to fight back. They don't want to fight.
But do you think is a way where Republicans can?
No, it's what Aaron said was so smart, but that's something that the Republicans they're not even gonna address that. Like they're just gonna what they're gonna do is they're just gonna just blame the immigrants and just stop there. and just stop there. But I like how I like how Aaron is really pointing the finger at the companies behind that nonsense with the small businesses being thrashed. Because it was interesting. I remember it was this dude, and he actually outlined, there was like a line in the like a map that he outlined of all the businesses that got destroyed versus the big businesses that didn't even get touched. And it was literally like a line. It was when he drew the line, it was clear this was like they only targeted small businesses to burn down. It was very planned like that. Like I remember when they were showing that. So all the companies behind all the nonsense, they should be taxed. That's first of all, that's revolutionary, but that's something that you would think a true Republican would be pro that, but no. the only times actually let me keep that thought to myself. I'm gonna let it play.
And gain back their power, and Black Americans can get their just due.
I think of it like this. Republicans are the most they're probably going to get is 25% of Black men. You're never getting Black women. The Democrat Party is giving them too much.
Yeah,
they made them vice president. They're putting them in the Supreme Court. They made them head of their own households and their own communities with Section 8. They made why would Black women ever align with Republicans? Like I said, the most you're going to get is maybe 1 in 4 of Black men. I don't see Black women ever coming to be conservative. I just don't think that natural. I think Black women right now, they're on top of the game. Why would they give up when they're on top and they're moving forward? Like that's what I'm saying. Why would I? Okay, think about it. If I was in this position as the number 2 in my household and the government made me number 1, right? Then I get all these laws changed. I get all of this. If I have a child, right? I get WIC, I get housing, I get all this kind of stuff. Right. Okay, that was step 2. So step 3, now I'm going to start funding organizations that put women first. Then on top of that, hey, the government, really contracting. Okay, I can start a little business and then I can get the government to give me priority for being a woman. Why would they ever? You want to talk about they got their just due? They've gotten their just due. They have. So like for men, like I said, 1 in 4, because you got the other two men that are, she's my queen. I'm about my mom to the end of the earth. All of that fucking bullshit, right? Queen reposting. I saw something today on the fucking shade room of some guy with some ugly woman, like, find you a queen, get you money, stay out the way. Yeah, let that money go and your queen's going too. But anyway, like
fair use, by the way. Fair use, by the way.
1 in 4 guys. The thing about it is, even with my movement, I don't need everybody, bro. I would rather have a loyal 25% than a shaky 50. That's all I need. I don't need everybody, bro. I need, bro. Give me 20. Give me, dude. If Republicans win 1 in 4 Black men, those Black men show up to vote, Democrats will never win again.
I do think there's going to be a surge of Black voters for the Republican Party this.
That's all. And that's the crazy thing. That's all, just 25% of Black men to just be like, fuck that. We're going to vote red this time just to show our power, just to show what we could do in the polls. Just 25% would make the difference. That's it. Let me rewind that real quick.
Everybody, bro. I need, bro. Give me 20. Give me, dude. If Republicans win 1 in 4 Black men, and those Black men show up to vote, Democrats will never win again.
Now, I do think there's going to be a surge of Black voters for the Republican Party this next coming election.
But then this is why when we talk about immigration, this is why the Democrats are very pro-immigration, because they're just hoping that, okay, so we let them in this country, they're gonna show up for us in the polls. So this is another aspect of this, because they know eventually, I think they know in the back of their mind, eventually, you would think some Black people would vote, enough Black people would wake up and be like, we can't vote left anymore. Like, we just can't. So this is why they're just like, okay, we gotta pander to a new demographic of people, and it's going to be the immigrant. It's going to be the immigrants.
Depends.
The reason why I say that because once we start opening it up, like once we really start opening it up, just kind of how we did with this election a little bit, when it was like, okay, you got no tangibles. The Democratic Party gave you nothing.
Think about who got the tangibles, bro. Think about who headed up BLM. Think about who they're putting in the Supreme Court.
I see that, but what I'm saying is, you can say all this, but when we don't have any statistics,
we didn't get the tangibles.
So you think that the Democratic Party can lull black people to sleep again with this next election, knowing that during this term, Joe Biden hasn't given, like, I know you're talking about certain like knick-knack things, but I'm talking about like when you see a groundswell for like reparations, you see a groundswell for like CRT, or just like certain things where it's like black people, like you just can't give us chicken wings and butter biscuits and get us to come out and vote and do the electric slide.
Dude, some people love the butter biscuits, bro. And the reason why they love the butter biscuits is because they're able to say, those got people over there hate you, and people are so indoctrinated. Listen, I think, this is the thing. I don't think the Democrats have to do anything more. I think they've done enough. And I think they have.
I agree with that so much, because they're literally doing nothing, and they're doing nothing particularly for BWs. They're literally like, they're not even doing anything, and definitely not doing anything for black men, and they're still blindly voting Democrat. The damage is already done, dog. It's just up to black people to abandon that cesspool. It's just up to us to do that. But I don't know if they're gonna do it.
They got to where they need to go. They got everything
black
they wanted.
People are their most loyal voters. And also think about they've imported half the third world in here. They don't need your vote anymore. And think about it. They've even systematically done it to where, they can make people part of the rainbow community. And with that, they really don't need your vote anymore. If they can make people, if they can make the country international and more gay, they don't need your vote anymore.
I heard what Joe Biden said when he was like, the biggest community right now is gonna be the Hispanic community. So like black people are gonna have to.
So, bro, I mean, but the thing about it is this. I'm sorry, dude. I mean, I don't blame Joe Biden as much as I blame the people that voted the way they did the last 60 years.
Yeah.
The thing is, I can blame Joe Biden for that. I can blame, I can
blame the game plan that was given to him based off of the characteristics that,
bro,
a scout report is a scout report.
This is correct.
You give me a scout report, somebody only goes to their left and, drives their left and pulls up from the right. I'm going to play them like that. You can't get mad at me for playing what was on the scout report based off of your.
But yeah, man, that's, let me see. It's got about 2 or 3 minutes left. We'll let these minutes ride out.
Your tendencies.
I mean, dude, and the thing about it is this was a long time coming.
Right. Yeah. No, you were saying it was a long time coming.
This is a long time coming, bro. This was a long-term project to import this many people into America. Think about it. Black people have been in this country 400 years.
Right.
In 20 years, we've imported double that number into America. Is it even America anymore? Think about it. I always say this. If I say, I got chocolate milk for you, right? And this is America. America's chocolate milk. It's 80% milk, white milk, and 20% syrup. And I mix that together. And I say, this is America. Now, I say, okay, well, I'm going to change some things. I'm going to put some salsa in there.
Right.
I'm going to put some curry in there. Right. I'm going to put some rice in there. Right. I'm going to put some Wuhan bat in there.
So what you're saying
is that still America? And I mix it all together. Is that still America?
So you're saying we went from the United States of America to the United Countries of the world.
Agree. This is Captain Planet now, and it's a disaster.
Yeah. Well,
because I have no loyalty to Captain Planet. I have no loyalty to. I don't care if you look like me. Do you know? First off, people are not even acknowledged that America is a place historically or culturally. Even with my arguments on Clubhouse, when we would go up against these people from Europe, and we're all the same. No, we're not. Can you name me 5 songs from Motown? Did you hate the dad from Jackson, American Dream? Like this is what I'm talking about.
Like, in certain ways, we grew up.
What did they say after James died on Good Time? We don't relate to each other.
You're saying we have a culture that should be recognized.
It is. But the thing is, the only people that seem to not recognize it, the media has gotten people to not believe in it themselves and say that you have a culture that's somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, I think we talked about a lot this episode. We got in very deep into politics, religion.
So that's it for this episode. Oh yeah, and if you guys want to rewatch that episode, it's Florida Boys J's. That's his channel. Aaron, I'm not sure. I don't know if he has his own channel or not. I don't know. I haven't heard him on Star Report's show in a while. So I don't know if he's somewhere else in life. I don't know what's going on.
No,
But,
no. They got to him. They took him out.
I don't know, man. Or I don't know. Maybe for all I know, he's, he has his own job or he's unemployed. I don't know, because I don't know what's going on in people's personal lives. But I'll just say this conversations like this is necessary. We need more conversations like that. We need more open. We need more, not just Black conservatives in general, more open Black conservatives, more Black men particularly that are open with being is okay with just being known as a conservative or a Republican, in general. That's definitely, we need that. We definitely need that. Let's see, because I think that's the only thing I wanted to cover today was just that particular episode. Oh, let me see if I can make another point with let me see if I can search something real quick. I'm gonna go on my Instagram. I'm going to search if I can. I don't know if I can get on the Explore page on my laptop. I want to see if I can bring up another IG model to make a point or an example. Let me see if I can bring this up. Could I bring that up or nah. No more booty models today. No more booty models today. They've done enough damage. But I will say this. Oh, my next stream will be a sports stream, most likely. Meaning I'm going to go in on I think ESPN did like a top 100 athletes list. They did something like that, and the list was wild. I'm either I'm gonna do that or I'm gonna do the stream. I'm finally gonna do the stream where it's women hating their daughters or something like that. That's what Doug MPA, he said he wanted to do a stream like that. So I do have to one day I need to pull that one day. So yeah, I think that will be, I'm trying to see maybe if there's one more thing. Let me look at my Twitter real quick before I sign off, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Let's just see real quick. Oh, by the way, let me end it off at this.
Yeah.
Let me end it off at this. I know do you know of Jay Prince, this mogul from Houston? Do you know that guy?
No. Never heard.
So I'll leave that for another time. But there's this thing in the Black. I'm not gonna explain the situation. I'll probably explain that situation a longer. But unfortunately, there's certain Black communities or like just cities in general where Black people are basically forced to quote unquote check in with these gangsters and all these things before we enter certain communities. And I've always called cap on it, meaning, do we have to check the quote unquote check in or something bad is going to happen to us? And then you always hear these people, nah, man, you got to check in with this or you got to check. And I always had to ask the question. I'm like, do white people got to check in? And I'm just like, or is it always the Black rappers that we got to check in and you just want to extort the Black rappers that because they got money and you're just trying to extort them of the money that they got. So that's a whole other issue that I'll cover that on another time. But shout out to these people. Shout out to these people. Yo, my Twitter be funny as hell sometimes, man. Yeah. Oh man, there's nothing good to come out of. I'm seeing all this stuff they're talking about. The black female judge being assigned to Young Thug. He's fucked. But anyways, I'm going to sign off on here. Wait, hold on. Let me see. Talk about Team USA and how they will be fraudulent. Young Doka, don't get me started, bro. Do not get me started with Team USA. Because Americans, we're so arrogant. We're too we you want so yeah, I'm gonna talk about Team USA. My next stream, yep, I will talk about Team USA and how fraudulent they are. Don't even get me started. That's gonna get me down another rabbit hole. But anyways, last thoughts, Pyro so far.
Yeah, yeah, I completely agree with you on every single part, 100%, or should I say 1000%? Because most of these dudes who become conservative, they like they have to step on eggshells. If they're gonna get a black woman, like they're gonna have to like fall, like like they're gonna have to be frauds, like come off as liberals.
Basically,
If they
they
want
still
black
have
women,
to simp. They still have to simp, you know.
yes.
Yeah. And this is why I respect the guy. I want more. I want to see more Republicans like Aaron. I want to see more conservatives like that.
Yeah, yeah, the
You
thing
know,
is, I don't, I don't really care how people think about me, like the way I vote, because I'm mostly like right leaning. I would I would vote for Orange Men, like, and just tell people about it, just to see their faces. And I like I don't care how many friends I lose or so and so, because I'm that person who just stands on business. Like, how should I put it? I really I really tell people how it is, and some people might feel hurt about it, but I'm not going to lie in your face about certain things.
yeah. So yeah, I'll just say the last things. Yes, all black Republicans matter. I believe, I just don't think as a man you could be a Democrat at this time. That's just
Yeah.
crazy to me. I'm not saying only vote Republican. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying to be an open Democrat and to be a male, particularly if you're like, yeah, there's no way if you're a man you can be an open liberal unless if you're a twink. Like there's no other way to put it. And so oh yeah, and then I don't know if tomorrow might be no, not tomorrow. I don't think I'll have time tomorrow. Maybe Wednesday, but I think it's probably going to be Wednesday or early tomorrow on Tuesday. I will do a live stream either early Tuesday or on late Wednesday. I will do the sports stream where I am covering Team USA. I will cover that. And not only that, I will cover the top 100 athletes list where they had the top 100 athletes and they had women in there and they put women in there and you're just like, what? And I'm talking about it was like great male athletes. And then it'll be like two women over them. And I'm like, what?
No,
I'm like,
you
do you
can't.
know? So I was like, and then on top of that, I saw people in the top 10 that I'm like, no. First of all, Tom Brady is not the GOAT athlete. That's just no. Absolutely not. That's crazy to me. I'm not gonna put somebody, particularly in the sport of football, and especially we're talking about worldwide sports. I'm not gonna put somebody in there where they're not allowed to tackle Tom Brady. I just got into dude. I just came from playing pickup soccer where you're literally playing with dudes when they got a stacked team, and then it'll be like the biggest dude over there, and you can't even touch him. It's a foul. Like I already, I hate being in situations like that. So it's just like no. Like when I look at Tom Brady, he's not the GOAT. Definitely not the GOAT athlete. If you want to say he's the GOAT American football player, I disagree, but I understand why. But in terms of GOAT athlete, no. I'm thinking about Usain Bolt. I'm thinking about Floyd Mayweather. I'm thinking about Michael Phelps. How many? Wait, Michael Phelps got like the most medals out of everybody. I don't know why don't they advocate a Michael Phelps? He literally has the most medals, but they for some reason they want to push Tom Brady for some weird reason. I don't get it.
Because it's a wild man.
I don't know if it's weird. The way they push Tom Brady is weird to me in terms of him being the GOAT. I don't get it. There's
Chris,
other people that they could push.
I'm joking, but
like I know you're joking, but it's just for me. I still don't get
the glazing.
Yeah, is you could say Rafael. You could say Roger Federer. There's a lot of people that they can put. I'm thinking about Michael Jordan. I'm thinking about even LeBron James. Yeah. I don't think Tom Brady as an athlete is better than LeBron James. That's just no. I would not agree with that. So South Holland, exactly. They say there's GOAT athletes and there's GOAT winners, and they seem to confuse the two. I agree. I think that's if they want to say GOAT winners, okay, I got you. But in terms of just GOAT athletes, I don't know about that, man. That like I'm just because like when you talk about the greatest athletes of all time, it's no question in my mind Usain Bolt is the greatest. It's just like there's no question. Usain Bolt is not only the greatest sprinter of all time, he's probably the greatest athlete of all time. Michael Phelps, it's like it's clear he just dominates his field. You're not going to choose any other swimmer over him. It's clear. It's clear. You know what I mean? If you want to say Muhammad Ali in the boxing ring, but Floyd Mayweather to me is underrated, like in terms of what he has accomplished. What people don't understand is a lot of the negative press he got was after he bought out his own contract from Bob Arum. So there was a lot of rumors they spread about him when they talk about, oh, he DV'd his wife. It's not what you think. It's not what you think would happen is what happened. And as time has gone on, we understand how this whole DV stuff works. It's not as cut and DV is not as cut and dry as you think. If you ask the average policeman, what is the worst call? What is the one call that you hate getting? They'll tell you it's DV because they already know once they show up, people are going to start taking back their stories. They're going to act like nobody called the cops. They don't know where the call came from. Because it's the worst. It's the worst. So
I've seen that a lot on AJ's like 3 or 4.
Yeah, most of those clips is DV calls gone wrong. And that's it just make it is because it's never cut and dry. Everybody's switching up their stories. Then you got somebody already they forgave each other before. I'm talking about the woman will call the cops and then forgive the man right then and there in those 10 minutes. And then once the cop comes, then they'll realize, oh, I didn't forgive him. Oh, and then they're just it's a mess. It's a mess. So yeah. So yeah, like there's a lot of athletes. There's first of all, there's a lot of football players just in general that I would take over a Tom Brady. Like I would take Aaron Donald is one of the best football players I've ever seen. Ray Lewis, one of the best football players I've ever seen. And besides, if you look at all of the running backs, where I'm talking just the tackles that they have to take, Tom Brady doesn't have to worry about that. Like it's against the law in football. You can't, if you tackle the quarterback below the leg, it's a penalty. It's a 5 to 10 yard penalty. So you're not allowed to tackle the quarterback against the leg. Now, what happened is then Aaron Rodgers, he got tackled one day. He broke his collarbone, and because of that, now if you tackle the quarterback, if you tackle the quarterback, you're not allowed to put your full weight on them when you tackle them. So it's like, what? You're just like, Wait, so you're not even really allowed to tackle him? You can't even. Now, meanwhile, everybody else on the field, you can tackle them on their knees, you can tackle them on their ankle, you can target their legs. Like, I done seen these defensive backs hit a beeline on running backs' legs, and then I'll see these running backs get their legs snapped. That's what happened to Nick Chubb on the Cleveland Browns. The guy went at a beeline at that man's leg. You're not even allowed to do that. Like, if you did that to Brady, you would never be allowed to play in the league again. So I take things like that under consideration, where you're not allowed to late hit the QB. It's like, so it's like the quarterback is not even really a football player. It's like something else. You might as well give him a separate award. Like, if you want to, like, because they've kind of turned like the MVPs into, like, they've turned the MVPs in NFL into a quarterback award, but they really, like, the quarterback should get like their separate award, just like the pitchers get their separate award in baseball, you know. But like I said, I'll talk about all of that tomorrow. I'll talk about all of that tomorrow. So South Holland says, for me, a shutdown corner has to be the best athlete on the field, like Deion Sanders. Exactly. The best, to me, in my opinion, the two hardest positions in football to play is DB and offensive line. Whoever's on the offensive line, those are the two hardest positions to play: cornerback and offensive line. That is my opinion. If you got to play, whether you're the left tackle on the offensive line, whether you're the guard, whether you're the right tackle, to me, if you're the center snapping the ball, like, I believe, to me, if you got to be the hardest positions is DB as a corner, and if you play on the offensive line, because the offensive linemen, like, now they have to literally block mutants. You got these defensive ends that are like 6'8", running with 4.5, 4.6 speed, and these guys are just ridiculous. Like, they're mutants. They literally got to block mutants coming off the edge. Every play, they can't take no plays off. They got to be healthy. They have to be healthy, or their quarterback is fucked. So that, to me, those two positions. And he said he believes Deion is the best. Like, yeah, I believe Deion. I think Deion low key is the GOAT of NFL football. That's just my opinion, because he not only did he play defensive back, he also played wide receiver, and he played on special teams as a kick returner or a punt returner. So he literally played all three sides of the ball. It's hard for me as a person that, and then you're just gonna put Tom Brady as the GOAT, and he only plays one side of the ball, and and the rules are so catered to the quarterback post Peyton Manning, because Peyton Manning was struggling a lot. So they catered a lot of the rules to help Peyton Manning, but Tom Brady ended up benefiting the most. So it's hard for me particularly when I watch soccer, and I still will see Messi at age 35, 36 get more dirty tackles, get more dirty fouls on him at age 35 in one game than I've seen Tom Brady really take in his career. So it's like, to me, it's like night and day. There's no way I could I'm talking about worldwide. You're saying Tom Brady's the best athlete ever? No, that's just, I'd be lying to myself. I'd be lying to my eyes. I'd just be lying to my eyes.
I don't believe that one bit.
No, like, there's no way you can say that when you have a guy like Usain Bolt is literally a person. That's the first person I saw where he won his match. Sorry, he won his meet before it even started. Meaning, like, while he's running, it's literally like it's slow. He's like looking back, saying hi to the cameras, celebrating while he's celebrating while he's breaking the record. Like, that to me that's all I need to see right there. And it's just where he's so dominant at his field. It's like, wow. Like, I'll never forget, like, watching the Beijing Olympics in 2008, and everybody's like, what the fuck is this guy? Like, he's such a great, where it's like he's constantly like, guys like that, you know, they be testing him. Like,
Yeah.
meaning for like guys like that, they're like, nah, you gotta be cheating. They're like, you gotta be cheating. Nope. So, and that's that to me is GOAT level stuff. What Usain Bolt did, or Floyd Mayweather going undefeated in his career, or Michael Phelps literally having more medals than anybody else in life. So it's not even close. And on top of that, if you look at Michael Phelps, how he's built, it's this guy was a freaking machine. So it's like, how do you put Tom Brady there? I don't see how he fits in there. But like I said, like, you know, NFL is the most pushed, most popular sport. So, you know what I mean? It's the most pushed thing. So obviously a guy like Tom Brady will be like, even like people don't even understand, like even in the sport of football, like Tim Tebow was a guy who was pushed heavily, and I found him to be very overrated. But you know, he was pushed really heavily because he was great for the cameras, he was great for TV ratings. You know what I mean? So, you know, that a lot of these things go hand in hand. But yeah, I'll talk about all of this tomorrow or Wednesday. On Wednesday, most likely Wednesday. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I'll go in on this, and people be shocked when I say stuff like that, because I guess they expect me to be like a Patriots fan or something. But I'm like, no, hell no. But yeah, I'll talk about a lot of this on another time. But thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you, Pyro, for tuning in. South Holland. Thank you, Garrett. Truth Hunter. Thank you, Young Doka. I think that's my guy. In another what's my guy's name off of Instagram? I'm blanking on his name, but thank you for tuning in, Rocky. Thank you for tuning in. Everybody else, thank you guys for tuning in to this podcast. The next one's gonna be sports related, so it's gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna be a little bit different.
I can't wait.
Man. Yeah, man. Definitely. I like the Caitlin Clark podcast that I did recently. It was like 2 or 3 weeks ago, because it was like different people in the chat that was coming in and out. That was interesting. So yeah. So I'm looking forward to that. And that's it for today. Thank you, Pyro, for tuning in, man. Thank you.
See you soon, man.
Take care.